was just a concert.
Oh, okay. Because I think that if you go out, probably to certain concerts and definitely probably all festivals, there is a shared and completely understood and expected dirtiness that people are going to be in. It's like, hey, listen,
We're all in it together.
Yeah, like we're all going to be dirty as fuck for 3 days. This isn't weird work. Did that happen?
There's inside it. Plenty of feet.
Yes, tell me about this thing. What are you talking about? You were saying that you were making something earlier, or you were
No, I was recording myself.
Recording. Yes, making
playing guitar. And
well, how long have you been playing guitar?
I mean, I've played instruments for a long time.
Oh, okay.
I started playing cello in 3rd grade.
Are you trying to put together like a small little project or something? Is it
At least with like cello, it was part of the orchestra, so I was a part of like a greater whole, and then, there wasn't like a lot of pressure on me to like perform, solo or whatnot.
Yeah. So you don't want to do that?
No.
Oh, like not even for like friends around a fire, like a fire?
Yeah.
Oh, you would do that?
Out, sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool.
I kind of want to do an open mic. It's actually why I was recording myself. I'm like, what do I sound like?
So if you're recording yourself, are you writing as well?
No.
Oh.
No,
so you're just, okay.
I'm not recording like to GarageBand and mixing up something. No, I'm just playing a cover of a song, and I just wanted to know what my voice sounded like.
What are you singing?
Ain't No Sunshine.
Oh, Bill Withers.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
You already sound better than I do.
What is the next one? It's not warm when she's away.
There you go.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
All right. So I'm on guitar and you're on vocals.
No, come on, you got to do it. I want to hear this project. I want to hear something. I want to hear.
That one's in the incubator still. Well, we're cooking that one up.
That's a good one. That's mostly like you're playing upbeat, like you're playing like on the ands, if you will.
Sure.
Like the.
Honestly, the cover I'm playing, most of the lyrics are like the music and the guitar bits at the end of the verse. So they're two kind of like separate.
Are you playing like all acoustic? Or are you playing? Oh, okay.
Come on, Earl.
I mean,
I'm sitting here with Sumac Lemonade. You think I'm playing electric guitar?
You fucking would. That's so funny. I could see you doing folk music for sure.
Yeah.
Telling the fucking story. I could 1000% see you.
I just bought some concert tickets to a folk concert in DC next month. If you want to go.
Do you know this folk band, or is it just like some random?
Yeah. Well, he's like kind of like country folk. His name's Nolan Taylor. I don't know. I just stumbled on a song of his.
What's the draw? Is it the stories? Like, what's the draw?
It's the emotion. That's what I've always been attracted to in music is like, I think you inherently as a person can feel the difference between like real music and something that's been overproduced. And I think with like, real emotion comes out in some music, and especially the more simple it is. If it's just like a person and their instrument.
So I have a question.
That's the purest form of emotion.
So, or maybe that they are using artificial intelligence to make very, very good sounding music. I heard a Drake song the other day that was Drake AI, and I think I heard like a Slim Shady one. And they're like, they pass, right? And people love them. Do you think that the want to know that a human being was on the other side of it will really reign supreme in the fight between that and just hedonistic consumerism?
I think we're a ways away. It's like CGI in movies. When they first started using CGI, you're like, that's not a real shark in a tornado. That's not possible.
Fucking Sharknado.
But nowadays, like CGI movies, you won't notice that wolf in the background's like just been rendered in. It's not an actual wolf or whatnot. So I think it's probably going to be the same with music, that it's going to take a while until you can make it sound like somebody's voice, and you can put it to a beat. Yeah. And you can add lyrics that has probably been written by an actual person, but maybe it's being written by the artificial intelligence too. But to like take it past that for like real emotion and like a unique thought. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I think like rap is easier to do because you can just kind of like you can.
There's
just,
a more set rule set.
Yeah, like you can just really put whatever. It doesn't have to follow a story. Like you can say like, and I was fucking your bitch, and then I came through and did this, and then like you don't have to. It doesn't have to follow any real story, so they can just chop up a bunch of your words and kind of put them out there as long as they are relatively decent sentences that someone can say, right? Like,
yeah.
But when it comes to someone that does story, in their music, that's going to be a little bit more difficult to try to, I think, for the AI to put together. To try to put together a meaningful, like heartfelt story that you can follow. That's going to be a little bit more difficult. I think
even the opposites. So many songs that I enjoy don't really have like a story, but you just kind of have like this feeling by the end of it. Whatever the artist was feeling when they wrote it is like what you're kind of left with.
Dude, if they make music that does that at some point, that's going to be a fucking game changer. That's crazy. Like if they
I'm not opposed to it.
Like
imagine you tune into Spotify and the music has been tailored for you specifically. Like I found an artist recently that I'm like, nobody I send this to likes it. I'm like, I'm pretty positive this is AI generated music just for me. Dude, because it's a mixture of everything I love.
That would be fucking hilarious.
I know it's not something that like you would enjoy.
Wow.
Yeah. Like what if they're testing it out on me now?
That is the thing. That is the thing. Fuck. Yeah, like if every song could be tailored for like every day of your life. Like you know what I mean? Like it has your fucking name in it. Like you're the main character.
Click a little smiley face, if you're in a good mood, or a little frowny face if you're in a bad mood.
Oh man.
And it just tailors a song to you for that day.
Oh, you're right. That's gonna fucking take over.
Right? It's coming.
Oh, that's definitely coming. That's the thing. Like, if you can think it and it just makes sense like that, they're going to do that. Like, that's definitely happening.
But I think while something like that might be popular and there will be a lot of users, I think, like, we also appreciate something that takes more time. I think, like, there's an inherent value in effort.
Yeah.
Nothing in life without labor. And
that's very true.
We appreciate music that somebody did have to, like, painstakingly, like, work up together. So it's the same thing with, like, hand making something. Like, I can make you a shitty table. And you can go to IKEA and probably get like a more polished looking table, but the table might be worth more because I made it.
See, that's what's always weird about those fucking dystopian movies like The Hunger Games and Maze Runner and Divergent, like things like that, where you're in a world where they tried to, The Giver, where they tried to take away all the sucky things and they just made everyone very similar, and everyone's like takes this pill at the beginning of the day so they don't think too much about what's really going on. Yeah. Like that's like... I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's always the weird part of those types of movies. Yeah. Is the fact that once you try to take away the effort and you just try to say you're going to flatten the playing field so everyone can start from the same place. No one owns anything more than anyone else, no matter what. Like, we all work the same amount. So no one's overworked, no one's working any harder, so no one can be revered over anyone else.
Communism.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's sort of like that. Like, do you
think that ever works? Because I don't think it does. I think there's too much.
I'm not a history buff, but I hear that it doesn't work.
Well, even like if you control that nobody's in power, I just think like so much of what we do in life is, we need motivators.
Yeah.
Maybe if we have everything we need, we find different motivators, but...
And I don't know. Those people have to be incentivized by something in order to innovate.
I think we need a reason to, explore more, do more. Otherwise, we just all kind of settle in and become like those Wall-E people, fat, floating around in a chair.
That's definitely coming.
Which, like, I wouldn't mind one day of that a week.
Yeah, I do that. If we weren't podcasting right now, I'd probably be doing that. I'd have my own version of that.
iPad floating in front of your face.
Probably playing Hogwarts. Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, tell me more.
It's just fucking fast. It's just the layers of... I've talked about it on here. No, people can be like, he really likes this game. It's just the layers of beauty to it. Like, the graphics are so beautiful and they're so expansive. Like, the map is so expansive. You can fly on a... What is it? What the fucking thing is called? Like it's not a griffin. It's a hippogriff, which is like this big ass fucking bird that you can just fly on. You can fly on a broom. you go and you have these stellar, huge fights with titans and huge spiders and just other fucking wizards out there, dark wizards trying to take over the world and goblins. And you have all these puzzles and you're figuring all this shit out. It's like constantly stimulating. It's beautiful.
So what's your attraction in a game like this? Is it the escapism, or is it the storyline, the solving of a puzzle? Like, what's attracting you to spending time to play it?
Yeah, it's funny because I was having this conversation with her the other day. I don't find myself doing things for the escapism aspect of it. Because it's difficult to sort of quantify. It's like, are you escaping something, or are you just like very intentionally like delving into something deeply? Because when I'm playing that game, like I'm not doing it passively. You know what I mean? It's not to like get my mind off of something or to just like be on autopilot. Like, I'm fucking in this game. I'm like, this shit is fun. I'm having so much fun all the time. Like, as long as the game is on, I'm having fun playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the music. They nailed the music is beautiful. Everything about it is beautiful. All the spells that they create, that they allow you to do. You essentially become a god. Okay. And you just start running around, turning people into barrels, cursing people, setting shit on fire. Like, you just become a god, fly off. Yeah, it's basically amazing.
Nerd Sims.
Oh my god.
Not that Sims was not Nerd Sims.
And you get a room that you get to sort of build out for yourself like Sims, where you plant plants that help you in battle. You have potion stations where you mix potions.
So you're a gardener as well as a scientist.
You collect beasts and you breed beasts that and then you forge whatever they give, like feathers or wool or whatever, and then you go and you make a loom, and you get that loom and you weave that into the artifacts that you find. And it makes the artifact stronger, gives you certain abilities and things. Dude, the game is fucking phenomenal. I could talk about this shit all day long, honestly.
What is this on?
I played it on Xbox.
Okay.
It was the most impulsive purchase I've made in a very long time. I came in this house, and it was like day one, I think we moved in. Mm-hmm. And she was off doing something. And when she came home, I had like an $800 Xbox in that room. Yeah. And she was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, I bought an Xbox.
Well, it has to go with the couch. What are you going to do? Just have a couch here?
You know what I'm saying?
I carried this all the way up here.
Well, I do use the TV again for a lot of comedy now. We've been watching a lot of...
I have a TV.
So you like Theo Von, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Theo Von's best.
What have you seen him in? What do you...
I just listened to his podcast, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. He's such a strange brain. I think he's the smartest guy in the room, but he doesn't let anyone know it.
One of those.
He plays really dumb, and he like mispronounces words.
Do you know who Lakeith Stanfield is?
Oh, Lakeith? No. Not at all.
That name even coming out of your mouth was funny on its own. Oh, Lakeith? Yeah. Hang out with Lakeith all the time.
I don't think I've said that word before, honestly.
Right, exactly. Did you ever watch the show Atlanta by Donald Glover? Yeah. So Lakeith Stanfield is, Darius. The weird sort of friend, right?
Helps his cousin sell.
Hold on, helps his cousin sell? Yes. Yeah, the tall, skinny black dude. Yeah. People say that he reminds me of them. I remind them of him. Whatever.
I can see that.
It's just something about the weirdness and the skinniness and the face and the skin color and probably so most things. But he's another one of those types of people that you're talking about. That he's very brilliant. I think it's very apparent. He's very, very brilliant, but he most certainly is not trying to convince anyone that he's brilliant at all. I love those people.
No, I think that's interesting. I like that because I think that shows like a humility, right? Like you don't want to rub it in somebody's face that like you might know more about them, something than they do. And
there's also this thing that you exhibited out there, which was when you start to know a little bit about something, you start to realize just how much you don't know about that thing. Like knowledge begets like more curiosity, and you're like, oh shit, I don't know. Like you'll spend 6 months learning about something and be like, wow, I don't know shit. The more the deeper and deeper I get into this is like, wow, I'm truly a novice.
I feel like that's just life in general. As I get older, that I realize like I don't know anything. I genuinely don't. I don't think I can ever, realize it all. Like when I was a kid, I remember asking my mom, like, is there a way to know everything in the world? And she was like, the only person that does is God.
Wow.
And like as a kid, like I was determined, like I'm gonna read everything. I wanna learn everything I can, and like just try to like absorb as much as I could. And then now at this point, it's like I can't even remember the guys I just met yesterday's name.
Yeah, you burnt out.
Yeah.
How long do you think you were doing that? When did you give up that pursuit of omniscience?
I guess when I started, smoking too much weed and taking too many drugs and wrecked my brain for a few years.
No, and you're like,
now that like I don't anymore, I feel like my memory is getting better again, and like I do have this urge to learn, and so I just try to satiate that. But
wow. So
I still to this day I don't like it when I don't know something.
Oh, really?
It's a weird thing. Yeah, like when I feel completely out of the conversation because I don't know anything about a subject, I don't like that.
Oh, you feel like you need, like, in order to be a part of that conversation, you need data from that thing? Because I feel like you're probably pretty good at lateral thinking as well. And you're like, well, that sounds roughly like this other thing that I know, and somehow, extrapolating that information and being
talking about just like segueing it to
not necessarily else? Taking it and being like, let's talk about this instead. But but you could have some sort of insight into something else because it is like something else that you know. So you could at the very least be able to inquire. Because there's always some shit that I don't fucking know. Every single day I talk to someone and I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But I love it because I get to ask them questions.
That sticks with me. There was like a Bill Nye clip I'd seen years ago, and he said that like no matter who you meet, they know something you don't know. Like, the school janitor
for sure
has something to teach you.
For sure.
It's just a matter of talking to them or figuring out whatever they know better than you do. And
I think it's very weird that we look at janitors the way we do. I think
janitors have an awesome job.
I think not only that, but it just a noble one. Like it's one that is absolutely necessary.
I love cleaning.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, is it calming? Is it that type of thing?
It's just like it aligns everything.
Oh, it just feels good to me.
Yeah. Order. Put life in order.
I don't not like cleaning. Right, but I don't not like cleaning. But, it's not like, man, I can't fucking wait to get home. Because I know.
I mean, there's times where I clean and I'm like, this isn't healthy. Like, recently I was like 1 a.m. and I saw like some hair on my shower. So I was like, oh, let me wipe that up. And then it was like 2:30 in the morning and I completely cleaned my bathroom top to bottom. And I'm like, this probably shouldn't have been done tonight. But it feels good at times.
You make for a good partner in that sense.
Sure. Yeah.
That's nice.
I don't know. I'm on that wavelength of don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today. So like there's times where I feel myself being lazy, like, oh, I'll just leave those socks there, I'll get those next time. And then like I feel that nagging in the back of my brain, like just pick up the socks, just what's it gonna take you 2 minutes?
There's some of that in your reserve still, the like wanting to know, wanting to do. You don't it doesn't seem like you do. It's weird. It's like, I want to say you don't do well with idle time, but like you have idle time and you have a lot of very interesting hobbies that you just decide to like delve into, like fucking beekeeping and woodwork. And like you do a ton of shit. What does it feel like to have some shit in your mind and then you make that shit?
I don't know.
Like it's a seat.
I mean, I think it's the same thing what we were talking about before. Is like I don't like the feeling of not knowing something. So it's like, oh, like I want to make a stool, but I don't know how to make a stool. So it's like now I need to figure out how to make a stool. So like I don't know how to use this tool, but I bought the tool. So now I have to figure out how to use the tool and use it well, and whatever else. And
that's so funny.
But it doesn't always work out. I killed half my beehives this year.
Wow. I mean, that's kind of cool. You're like a worker. You know what I mean? Just like amongst humans, just like worker ants or worker bees. Like there's something in you that just like wants to create and like know and move forward.
Yeah. Seeing the fruits of your labor. Like I like the idea of just being a farmer.
Yeah.
Right? Because you go out, you work all day, you work hard, but then you see like the quantified value of your effort at the end of the season when you have your harvest, or you get a gallon of milk because you put the effort into it.
And every now and again, life just actually want to be a farmer. You, and you just have a drought or something. And like sometimes that shit happens, or some fucking coyotes come and eat your chickens or whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
And that's just like the gamble. you know. But yes, for the most part, it is what you are putting in.
Yeah, I like the physical realization of effort. Rather than like, oh, there's more money in my bank account because I did this. Which I like that too. Yeah. But, that's also just the things I want to do.
So what are you actually doing in the gym instead of just calf raises? Like, what do you, talk to me about this effort that you put in the gym.
Mainly toe exercises. I'm really trying to work on my toe mobility right now.
That's very important.
Yeah. People don't realize,
my toe cramped up earlier today. I'm like, fuck, gotta go stretch it.
All your balance. It's derived from your toes. Especially the big and the pinky toe.
Yeah.
Think about the disparity in size.
Spread those suckers out.
Have you seen those toe spacers?
Toe spacers?
Toe spacers.
No, I have not seen toe spacers.
It's a thing like on some of the, I'm trying to think of like Titan or Rogue fitness equipment. They make all the nice home stuff.
Okay.
They sell toe spacers and people wear them at night while they're sleeping to try to like, I don't know what the goal is, but I think to return to like a more natural state of like foot strength. Like, have you seen the
oh shit
clips of like Amazon tribesmen's toes?
Yeah,
they're like hands.
Yeah,
like they can grip on the tree trunks as they're walking across.
I'm just thinking about all these uncomfortable shoes that I wear and I see other people wearing. I'm like, damn, maybe I'm like, I laughed just now, but I think I might go on Amazon and look up toe spacers for sure. Spread the bitches back out a little bit.
It makes it easier to paint your toenails.
Yeah, that's very true. I do that like once every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's like a little clear coat.
A little clear coat?
Yeah, it comes on. Yeah, because she
What's that do for you?
She does a pedicure. It don't really do much. It makes them look nice though. They're like real shiny and shit.
I mean, I love a pedicure.
But yeah,
I just got one last week. Oh my God. It's great. Spot pedicure when they have the wax on it. And they peel that wax off your foot.
Oh, yes. You got the whole... Fuck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, if you go to a place, they hand you a fucking mimosa. You're sitting on a massage bit and you got fucking mimosa and they got your fucking feet in the hot water and they're scrubbing it and all this dead skin's coming off and they're all that hot. It's all... Oh, I love it. I don't understand. Like, who would not want? Well, unless you're like, like people can't touch your feet, or you're too jittery, like you're too, like you're ticklish. Sure. I guess, which that sucks because it's such a good feeling.
No, it's the best.
But when I went to the spa the other day and I got that 60-minute, I threw on the CBD oil treatment. That was the first time I had that, so that was real fucking nice. Yeah. It just felt like lighter.
You feel it?
Like everything's just like
kicks
a little,
in?
You just feel good. Like your whole body just feels good. Like numb, a bit numb, just like a bit, I guess, like not inflamed.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's the point of it, right?
Yeah. Then I got the fucking scalp treatment. Mm-hmm. You sit there and just, oh my God. Just oils on your head, just massaging your head is the best thing in the world. And in the foot treatment where I did get like a nice hot mask, like a little warm footy that has some little serum in there. Oh yeah, and they just sit there and sit on your feet for like 15 minutes and she comes back and then massages your feet afterwards. Oh my God.
The add-ons there.
Oh, the add-ons, yeah, man, because I use a fucking salamander buck, so it was all free anyway, so I just decided to pay like an extra $50.
I told you about the last time I did the hour and a half massage. And then I added on like a 30-minute head massage, and it was just her with like hot oil massaging my head for 30 minutes. But then I accidentally ended up with a perm. Like my hair has never been that curly before. For like up until now, it's finally starting to get wavy again. But I had like tight ringlets of curls for like 2 months.
Oh, dude, it's fucking worth it though.
Yeah.
And did you like them? Did you like the curls?
I don't like the curls.
Oh, you didn't like the curls? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, man, that shit is worth it, dude. It's like every once in a while, and when I went to the spa, it was one of these fucking times. I just had to sit back and be like, dude, what is my life? like what the fuck is my life?
Is that what you're thinking about?
Like I'm at work and I'm just in heaven right now for free. This is amazing. It's like this is my life. Yeah. You know, I got a fucking friend coming over. He's bringing over fucking elderberry scissor and fucking sumac juice, sumac lemonade with no lemon in it. It tastes like lemonade somehow because you're a wizard in whiskey. It's just a great life. You know what I mean?
I'm happy to hang out and get to know you more.
Oh yeah, for sure. We've just been like around in the same ecosystem.
Yeah, we never had like a chance to chit chat really.
No, just those quick interactions.
I mean, it gets philosophical quick, which I appreciate about you, Earl. You know.
Dude, I swear I don't try, man. I don't know, like, I don't know how else to be.
I just imagine inside your brain, you just have this constant, like, what is life? Like, who am I?
It's just, whatever the conversation's about. Like, I like talking about anything, but like, whatever the conversation's about, there's a core to it. And I like to try to investigate that.
I wonder if it's even you. I think it's just the way you speak.
Oh.
You speak in like a slower tone, you know, with some bass. And it's like, so I feel like I need to have a deep discussion with you because of that. Or we can talk about farts, whatever you're into.
Oh, that's funny as hell. I need to just have a deep discussion because you speak slower and have bass in your voice. You sound like an old man, so... Yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
Morgan Freeman type. Like you would want to speak to Morgan Freeman about like something.
Morgan Freeman has answers to life.
He's got some. He's got to have some.
Yeah.
Right?
There's no way you get to like that level of success without having a couple things figured out.
James Earl Jones, that fucking guy with his voice.
For sure.
The Allstate guy, whatever his name is. There's just certain... Okay, dude. All right, hold on a second, man.
Okay.
This is gonna be a little dicey. All right, we gotta have this comedian conversation.
Okay,
because I'm trying to break this shit down. Valerie and I have been talking about this. Fuck, man. I try to listen to all sorts of comedy from all different sorts of people. I really, really try, and I try to open my mind to the perspective of other people, and like I'm just not getting the same grasp from women comics that I get from men. And I'm trying to figure out what this is. Now I don't know. Okay, you think you've thought about this?
Yeah, this is something I've thought about before because I agree that I don't know. I think it has something to do with like, all right, male comedians, there's a large playing field. And so the ones that make it to what we see are the ones that have honed the craft for like, 10, 15 years. They've really figured out themselves and their style of comedy. And like, they've raised to these heights, through labor of, just excess, doing set after set after set. And I think with female comedians, it's a smaller subset of this already pretty small subset of the population. And maybe they kind of just get moved up a little faster than they should. Yeah. And like, if they had enough time, they could probably figure it out.
I wonder, that was really well assessed, by the way. I wonder how long women, like how old is comedy? How old is like stand-up comedy?
I mean, yeah, the court jesters.
Yeah. That's a tough fucking job, dude. Yeah. Like, I gotta make this fucking guy, I gotta entertain this guy, or they're throwing me to the lion's den.
The first actor wasn't until, like Greek times Thespius, right? And that's where the thespian came from. Yeah. So it's like we kind of like age back to like when people started making up stuff.
Yeah.
But I think we always told stories, and that's another thing I think about humans is we forget that, at least I do. If I think about a human 10,000 years ago, I think about maybe like a simpler person that's just, maybe doesn't have the same capacity to think as we do.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. Like, we're all the same species. So they had all the same sort of sense of humor. Like, they were still laughing when somebody farted. They still had, dirty minds. They were drawing dicks on the pyramids.
Yeah. Did that happen? Did someone draw some dicks on the pyramids?
There's dicks on the pyramids inside. Yeah, there's plenty of graffiti.
All right. I did not know this information. Is that like it's just like okay?
I think it's just inherent human nature.
Did it like, maybe it like represented something like the phallic nature.
I think they were just drawing.
You don't think it was just like strength, like dick is strength? You don't think that was? So
there was another one I'd seen. It was a website in Pompeii that compiled all the graffiti they'd found in Pompeii as they were doing the excavations. And it was things like, Octavius is a homo. You know, Octavius has a small penis, is what they were writing. So,
Bro, the way people were roasting each other back then is fucking hilarious. Like, why are you spending your time doing this? But
Theocrisius lays the cheap.
All right, okay, all right. So then, how long have women been in that game? It must be relatively new in comparison.
Much
exactly.
newer, yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's what we're seeing. We're just seeing the proper natural, like,
because even with acting for years, there was no female actresses. It would just be men dressed up as women.
But see, the difference is that, like, women now, like, actresses are fucking amazing. Like, you watch a Meryl Streep or Keira Knightley or
Better than men.
or anyone, you're just like, yeah. So for some reason, there's no hang up there.
Can I sidestep?
Yeah.
Okay, just because it reminded me of this theory, and I want you to follow up with me in the future if it checks out. So I have a theory on to become a successful actor or actress. You have to have either blue or green eyes, and you have to have a mean forehead vein that really shows the emotion, the expression. Like in an intense scene, that forehead vein pops up.
Okay.
Those are the two things you have to have.
Okay. I think
One or the other. I mean,
you said blue or green eyes?
blue or green eyes, yeah.
This is a Julia Roberts.
So if you have brown eyes, you have to have the thickest forehead vein.
I think Julia Roberts has a very thick forehead vein. I'm
Sure she
almost
does.
certain because I tried to go straight to, like, the very top. Like, who's the top? It's like Julia Roberts. I'm like, I've seen that vein.
You've seen the vein.
I've seen that vein in fucking, like, Ocean's 11 or something.
Yeah, it'll pop out.
That's fucking hilarious. I'm gonna have why? What? Are you a movie watcher? Do you even watch? Do you watch a lot of movies? What do you?
I like films.
Okay, all right, all right, guy. So tell me about the films. You watch a lot of indies?
No, honestly, I mean, I used to watch a lot of movies, but nowadays I don't have a TV. Like I'll watch a movie every now and then on the laptop, but I can't. The time I have to spend on something like that's like 30 minutes. So like I can watch an episode of a TV show in that time, but like I'm watching 30 minutes of a movie and then picking up the next day is like, I don't know. It's not how it's intended to be enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was definitely a time where I wasn't at all involved in my TV, like for a very long time. I was heavily immersed in books. Like 2020, I read like 70 books.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fucking information. I was in my head for a long time I was trying to unravel.
Do you like fiction or nonfiction?
Both.
Yeah. What kind of nonfiction do you gravitate towards?
Psychological stuff, philosophical stuff, neurological stuff. I guess now a little bit of nutritional stuff is cool. I kind of like communications ton. Like that's probably been the most of what I've read, and just books on communication, on just.
Do you feel like you're able to absorb something from that?
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I did that for a long time. Just read a ton of books on body language and just small talk. There was a book that really changed my view on small talk, which so many people hate. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, I don't want to fucking talk about the weather. I don't want to talk about your fucking kid's soccer game. Like, I don't want to get, which is kind of fucked up. You don't want to talk about the kid's soccer game. But like, people don't get caught up in that. But it really should be seen as a vehicle that takes you somewhere. Like, you can't just expect to walk up to human beings and just get straight into their soul. Right?
I hate small talk.
Yeah.
And my trick is because I do it all day, every day, right? Like, people come to the bar and it's like, I can only get to know you so quick. So usually how I get past that, like, I really don't want to talk about the weather. We know what it's outside. Like, I can look on my phone right now. You don't need to tell me that it's nice out. I can see it from here through the window. It's nice. Right. Cool. Let's move past that. But like, just overshare a little bit. Something you're wearing reminds me of a story. I'll tell you like a story that I think's funny. Then it's like, all right, instantly we're friends.
Well, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's always a way of doing it. Like you seem very like non-aggressive and very, and like non-creepy. And that's,
that helps,
when it comes with that energy, it's just like, oh yeah, sure, I'm here for this.
Sure.
Yeah, let's see what the fuck his story is.
Yeah, thank God.
Right? Oh, goodness.
I was talking to her last night about it because some guy at the bar that was like, I guess, looking over at her. And she said that like he was creepy. And I was like, but would it have been creepy if he was a 10?
Yeah, right.
If he was like a really attractive guy, would it have been creepy?
Yeah.
You know?
And I think she was like, yeah, it would have even been creepier for the fact that, like, why are you creepy? Like, you're hot. Like, what the fuck are you doing being creepy? Just like be a cool guy. Okay. But like if you're in your 50s or whatever, I expect you to be the creepy old guy at the bar. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if you're just over there looking real suave, you look like fucking Leonardo DiCaprio.
Is it creepy to just look at somebody?
It's all in the eyes, right?
Yeah, I guess how you're looking.
It's all in the eyes. And that matters. You have to be able to read what the fuck is going on in someone's eyes. It's the difference between having a great hookup or being killed.
Mm-hmm. That's the weirdest thing is like the subtle cues in human nature, like the slightest little like muscle twitching or something like that. And like we read that as something. Yes. So whether or not we intend it to be, like some people walk around just looking pissed off all the time. Which I will, like, if I'm hungry or tired, I just look like I'm in a bad mood. It's like, I'm not in a bad mood. I just probably need a granola bar.
Just hungry and tired? Yeah. You just kind of distance, like, what's your thing? You just kind of distance yourself from people when you're in those, or do you lash out at some people sometimes? You make it other people's problems sometimes?
No, I think, I definitely can't be, I'm not as nice as I can always be. It's just something I try to work on, you know?
Yeah, me too.
Remember to say, like, please.
Yeah.
You know, because it's easy if I'm busy. Like, I'm not going to say please. But, yeah, I don't know. Just take a moment to think more about what you're saying and how it affects people. Yeah, because for me, a lot of things just wash over me. You know, like, if you're rude to me right now, you know, you say something that I perceive as rude, and, like, maybe, like, it slights me and I feel a little hurt about it. I'm good in, like, 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not something I'm going to, like, internalize, but I think a lot of people do take these small little, like, that look, you know, once again, like, maybe your face just looked a little weird for a second, but like somebody read that as like, oh, they looked at me and like they judged me in some sort of way. Oh. And then they internalize that. And it's like, so you kind of have to be more aware of these little things and how they affect people.
Dude.
Or not, and just fuck them all.
or not, right?
Live your life.
Yeah, that's weird because people the word for that these days is microaggression. Mm. And a lot of people feel like there are constant microaggressions around them. And it's really fucking weird. And I'll share something with you on here.
Okay.
Through this very, very large, I like to see the layers and things, right? So in this very large event that we just had at our place of work, it was beautiful for many different reasons. And then there was some things that was like, a little weird as well, right? And you'd have to be paying attention to see or experience some of these things. But there was this moment where I'm walking with this guy and I'm like, hey man, like, how are you enjoying yourself here? And he's like, oh man, it's beautiful. I love to see, you know, black people come together like this. And like, you know, cause you never see this. There's no fights going on. This is amazing. And he was like, you know what, man? Like, I love seeing all these white slaves. I love seeing all these white slaves around here.
I didn't even think about that.
And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what? He was like, you know, it's just you and a couple other people, you know, that aren't, you know what I mean? But I love seeing these white. And I was like, yo. And I'm like, first of all, there's so many things to say about this. Like, which is one, there's so many Hispanic people working.
Sure.
Like, by no means do I think it was just mostly white people. Like, we have a very, very diverse
absolutely.
Like, group.
Half of our employees right now are here on visas from different countries.
You know what I mean? So, but it was just weird. Like, it's like,
what did you say?
I'm like, I didn't say anything. I didn't know what to say at that point in time because I was showing them where the fucking morning buffet was. I was just like, well, here you go.
This is on your way to some crepes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, well, here's the buffet, sir. Like, what the fuck? I was like, what? I just didn't say anything. That was crazy. Like the weird. Yeah, it was so weird. But I bring that up because usually when I hear about microaggressions, they usually come from people that look like me. Mm-hmm. And that's unfortunate. And I talk about this on here enough because I feel like...
You think the microaggression comes from you or the people that are offended by the microaggression?
The people that are offended by microaggressions, I often hear this from black people are saying, this is a microaggression. Like I hear this often, especially at the place that we work.
Really? Because I would have said the opposite. I would have said It's coming from like white people that feel like they need to represent other cultures and races and are speaking up who they think in defense of people. But it's like,
well, those reviews don't get to us.
Okay.
But I have gotten a handful of reviews from other people. The only reason I ever speak about this stuff is really just because I think that it takes someone within the demographic to kind of point these things out, because often if it comes from outside the demographic, people are just like, fuck you, you're racist. So I just like to keep us in check. You know what I mean? And just say, hey, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, because not only that, but you're really just calling all of us servants. You're really just calling all of us slaves.
Yeah, you're in the same category as the worker there. So it's
here.
Like, there might be white slaves, but now you're also calling me a black slave.
Boom. Yeah. It's easy logic. It's like, dude, you just called all service industry people slaves. Yeah. Like, simply, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay. So, weird stuff like that. Just weird stuff like that.
But that's one guy.
One guy. Yeah. But I'm just talking about the microaggressions.
Sure.
Just going to that. It's those small things.
And it might have been intended as a joke, because I think we've gotten way too comfortable with getting upset at people for jokes. And I think we need a better sense of humor about things at times, because we're all in it together.
Oh, trust me.
And there is plenty of things that is wrong with the world, but we should be able to make jokes.
Oh, no. That's funny, which is why you laughed when I said it. Like, right? Like, it's funny, and it's also like, all right, man, but
you don't know him well enough to know what his intention is. I think it's a problem. That's why, I think a lot of times on people, it takes me a while to grow on them, because I have a kind of dry sense of humor, definitely a dark sense of humor. I think it's until you get an idea that I'm not a mean person, I'm not ill-intended, then my jokes are funnier to you, because you know that.
Yeah.
So I guess you need that baseline until you can make a joke about white slaves.
Yeah. How does your possibly you might need some backstory, might need some context. How do you feel about texting people that you are dating newly and trying to convey humor through text, or do you not really try to even do that?
I definitely try.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think, especially if it's somebody new, I'm not going to, I want to see how you respond to my humor, because I think that's going to be a big idea on how we match up. If I can't make if you can't laugh at the sort of things I'm laughing at, then you're just going to be annoyed by me all the time. So let's just get that out of the way right away, because I at this point, especially, I'm really trying to take life way less serious.
Okay.
I want to have a good time. I want to joke. I want to make myself laugh. I want to make friends laugh. We just took a hostage photo with a dog against a wall.
Dude, you're so funny. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. And I contributed to that. I took the photo.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. For sure. That was well done.
Thank you.
That is cool. I think of my father. I talk about him all the time. I think my father, when you say stuff like that, just wanting to fucking enjoy life.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just kicks in for certain people. And I love seeing that when the shit kicks in, oh, wait, hold on a second. I don't have to do all this other bullshit. I can enjoy I can actually make decisions to help me enjoy my life on a day-to-day basis. I can do that. And then once you unlock that and you understand it's an option to do that, oh my God, sky's the limit. It's just exponential growth.
Well, for years, I wouldn't want to be friends with people I work with. Because I'm this is my workplace. I work here, and that's it. If I'm chit-chatting with somebody, then I'm wasting time that I'm being paid to be here, and I take my job serious. And I kept everything just cordial, but not friendly. And it's now at this point, no. I see these people every day. I want to be friends with you if I like you.
Yeah.
Because also I'm too old to deal with people I don't like.
Oh yeah. You don't want to do that.
Yeah. So.
It's so funny when you grow out of that, whatever the fuck that is, whenever you're just oh, wait, no, I don't like you. I don't have to spend time around you. I'm going to not do that.
Yeah.
It's so funny when that washes over you. Oh my gosh.
It's free.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shook that off.
And it applies to everyone. It applies to the family.
Facts.
A lot of people feel oh, I have to spend time with this person because they're my parent or my cousin or whatever it is, uncle. But it's if somebody's toxic and they're not, benefiting you and your time spent with them, then don't. You'll feel better for it.
That's a fact. Well, I think so. I think that there may be a transitional period where you feel like you're not doing the right thing or something, especially if you have a bunch of people probably from your family telling you you're not doing the right thing or something. You should really reach out. You really should. Like, it would mean a lot to him if you like, honestly, like, you're not going to.
Yeah.
You're not going to show up to the thing. But you know everyone's going to be there, right? So you're just going to not be the one. You're going to, okay. You know,
You don't think you won't be noticed?
if you have a ton of that going on,
You sound like you're speaking from experience.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And I just tell them, like, nah. Like, nah. There's this
I'm an
book,
adult.
Illusions, right here. The Adventures of a Reluctant Messiah. Oh my God. Have you read this?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I like that it's a hardcover.
Here, that's my gift to you. I'd love for you to return that because I really would like to have that back. Okay. But yeah, but yeah, I mean,
Short read with big print.
but if you lose it, it also doesn't matter.
I'll bring it back. What's it
A
about?
friend of mine gave it to me. It's an amazing book. It's about this guy. It's definitely fiction. It's about this guy that's a fucking, like, a real messiah with magical powers. And he flies a biplane around. And he lands in this field and finds this other guy that also flies a biplane around, and they make their money fucking flying people around up in the sky, whatever, like a little, amusement park ride. And he kind of learns about this guy and realizes that this guy is a messiah that he's been hanging out with, and that he's got like some weird powers, and a bunch of shit doesn't really apply to him when it comes to physics. And this guy just day by day kind of teaches him these little Zen things that he should be thinking about. And they're all pretty much geared towards just unshackling yourself from all the bullshit that you've bought into, that you've subscribed to. And they give such a beautiful storytelling, visual representation of what it's like to allow people to take what is rightfully yours, which is your fucking life, right? And your decisions.
Sounds very Buddhist.
He talks about a fucking vampire coming. It's like a vampire pops up. He like conjures a vampire and kind of has it go sort of attack the guy and say, listen, like, I need like a pint of your blood. I just really need it. I'm going to be wreathing in pain if I don't get it. Like, it's going to be, I might die if I don't get it. And the guy, the regular fucking, aviation guy, he's just the pilot. He's like, fuck no, you can't have a pint of, get the fuck away from me. I'm going to kill you. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no. And then the Messiah vanishes the vampire, right? And he's like, okay, so why didn't you give him a pint of your blood? He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Pretty much. I mean, clearly this isn't the way it was written, but he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, why? No. And he's like, but he told you that he would be writhing in pain. He would die if you didn't. And you didn't give it to him. He's like, well, I don't understand. He's like, this is the same exact thing when people are trying to make you be who they want you to be in life. Like, you wouldn't willingly just give your blood and your life away, but this is what you're doing. You're giving your blood and your soul away just because people say, if you don't become the person I want you to be, I'm going to be in pain from it. Well, that's not my problem. That's a you problem, that you want me to be this thing and I'm not living to those expectations. But that's an idea that you've created yourself. I was never supposed to be that thing. So it's stupid for me to even just be indoctrinated with this weird prism of thought that I need to fulfill your perception of what an upstanding human being is. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah.
And like, so once you unshackle yourself from that idea, realizing that these people are essentially trying to fucking suck your blood, right? Your mind opens to, maybe I should just like fucking live my life. And they just have a bunch of beautiful quotes and stories
I'm
in there.
conflicted there.
Go for it.
Because I think I do want to live life selfishly for myself, but also, like, we can't all be selfish all the time.
No.
Like, we have to have selfless acts in the world.
Well, a lot of the selfless acts are also built upon selfishness.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to help, because it makes you feel good to help. It makes you feel good to make a change, a positive change in the world.
There's probably some biological imperative there.
Like if that shit
there's
didn't
some
matter,
genetic coding that.
Yeah, like some built-in incentive, like, because if you didn't care, like if it didn't make you feel good, you wouldn't want to do it. If like you just fed 50 hungry people and there was like nothing that washed over you, you'd be like, nah, okay, I'm gonna go do something else now. Like, this is fucking stupid. You know what I mean? It feels good.
I almost started crying the other morning. I was my one social media I allow myself is Reddit. And I'm scrolling through some Reddit, and I put me on like this video that was in like Made Me Smile, I think was the subreddit, and it was in this village. It looked like in India, I would guess, and they had this stand that was almost like skee ball. And these ladies were at the bottom of it, and they have 7 balls, and there's 7 holes up top. Each hole is labeled like sugar, lentils, new dress, a bucket, and they're rolling the balls up, trying to make them land in the hole. And if they land in the hole, they get that item.
Wow.
And it's just this footage of like these ladies doing it. And it's like, you know, the one lady wins like 3 things, the next one got like all 7 of them.
Wow.
And I was like, this is the saddest fucking thing I've ever seen. That we're making a game show out of necessities for some people. Right? Like, just give them the stuff. Just give them the sugar. If you have it right there, give them the sugar. We're gonna make them like perform in front of a camera to feed their family today. So like, is
yikes?
We should be fully selfless there, in my opinion, right? Just give them the stuff if you have it. Like, it's selfish to record this video to post it for views, but maybe the views are paying for the stuff. So,
dude, it's so, that's the thing about it's all so layered.
Yeah.
Everything is so layered. That's why I was talking about the fucking the event that we just worked. Like, there were beautiful things about it. Like this little fucking black boy that came out. Well, he wasn't little. That motherfucker was like 6'9" or something like that. He was real scrawny. He was 19 years old, and he had spent all of his money to travel out here to be under Chef Kwame and to just oversee everything. And he got a bunch of notes and met all the chefs and got everyone's contact information. Like, his fucking life just blew up.
It's awesome
that weekend, you know? And so you see things like that and it's like, whoa, like this is fucking amazing. And then, you know, again, you see some other weird shit. It's like not so much. And it goes back and forth and back and forth. There's just layers to everything.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I feel like it was a good thing. Yeah, I know that it was sponsored by, or we were sponsoring. We had some fucking thing with No Kid Hungry.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what that is. I don't think it was very explained very well, like what it was. But the sign was up there.
I think if they're not explaining it very well, we don't know what it is. It's probably like, you know, 1% of all realized profits goes towards it. You know, it's probably not as much as we'd like ideally, but.
And then, so as I was talking to you about, then I would just think about all the food being thrown away. Like as I'm looking at the No Kid Hungry Act, but then I speak to someone that was that was volunteering that went to like JMU at the time, like one of the helpers, and she was explaining it. She was like, yeah, although people have a skewed view of like food waste, because the food that we're going to house here, you're going to clearly want enough for everyone, and you're going to like double that fucking order, right? To have enough. But once you cook all that food and prepare the food, that food is supposed to be like enjoyed within a certain amount of time. So it's not realistic to think that all the food that we're constantly dumping out could just be packaged up and delivered straight.
No,
somewhere.
Not.
You know, because we have we have this idea, that like as we're just dumping tubs and tubs of food out, there's like, oh, so many people could be eating this.
But is an event like this necessary where we have that amount of food?
That's the question.
You know,
that's where I go to. Like, but then it's like, fuck. But then now you're stifling capitalism, because if people work hard and they make money and they want to do this thing, and they live in an open market
and it supports us, we have jobs.
Like, shouldn't they be able to do it?
I think there's probably ways to reduce waste. You know,
yeah.
Order less, make less, or the other side of it, it's like we know it's going to be wasted. We know we're going to have scraps. Like, so let's have like a green trash can that we scrap the food into that then gets turned into pig feed.
Yeah,
and then the pigs feed more people.
Yeah, because
could you repurpose that energy rather than just having it go to a landfill?
Because could you sell it as could you advertise it as something that is green and that is trying to save, and that people should expect to have less? You think people would come out for that? Like, they would still spend the money?
No, the whole point of it's extravagance.
They're like, oh, this bitch don't went green. Fuck her.
Yeah, I went there and spent thousands of dollars and I'm still hungry.
Yes,
nobody wants that.
You can't do that. Damn.
We're gonna have a very different crowd showing up.
Yeah, for sure. Damn.
It's gonna be a room full of white people that smell like patchouli. That's.
You know what I would have liked? I would have liked because this is for the proliferation of Black and brown cuisine and just culture in general. I would have liked for the And I felt the same way last year. For the playlist being played around all weekend long to be far more diverse.
You mean music-wise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, there are black and brown people that have made music across so many genres of music for so much time that the fact that we're not hearing things from the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s through jazz, blues, acoustic guitar, like just there's so many things, like R&B.
Yeah.
Well, there was some R&B there, but there was just so much. But for the most part, had to be 57% Drake. Future was a good bit, like that. You know what I mean? You had a couple. I think there was like one or two 90s R&B records, which I was vibing with for sure.
Okay.
I was vibing with those. I love it. Anytime you throw some 90s R&B on, it's just got a certain, God damn. It's that thing you were talking about.
Yeah.
The beats were different. They were talking different.
And that was all made like more analog rather than being, digitally created and everything like that. I think there's more to like, this was very purposefully done.
Yeah. It's just you with a broken heart in the fucking studio.
That leaks into the music when you're that involved with making it. Yeah, but I don't know that the event was like a cumulative event of all black accomplishments. So, I mean, I think they were just trying to play music that was popular nowadays. But also with the crowd there, they probably could have done with a more old school music.
That's what I'm saying, because it's not like it's just a young crowd.
I think it's the people that are being featured as chefs, probably interests in music and younger.
Well, it's really just the one chef at the very top. It's really just that person's playlist.
For sure.
Like, it's his playlist. It's the playlist he walks around to every day.
Yeah. I was listening to, it was like last year, the year before, in the locker room, listening to some. Have you heard of Capital C's?
No.
He was an artist from New York, a rapper. Ended up passing away, and I was listening to it. And that one chef, I think, was in the stall doing what somebody does in a stall. And he yells out, he's like, I love Steve's. That's like the only interaction I've really had with him.
I was walking around in the back, and he was walking through with one of those little fucking travel crepes that Chef Mawa was making. Yeah, he was walking through, and he was like, "Hey, man," and he tried to like hit me on the shoulder, just like a "Hey, what's going on" type of deal. And I gave the smallest little like elbow nudge at the same time, and I guess he wasn't expecting that collision when he first put his hand out. So then he sort of recoiled, and the crepe kind of went back and hit his shirt a little bit, and he was just like, he just looked down and then looked up, was like, "Oh my God," and just walked off, like very annoyed. And I was like, "Come on, man."
Yeah, you're the.
Don't be a bitch.
This is all about food. You're gonna get food on your shirt.
Don't be a bitch.
It's not mustard.
Relax.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
It's all right. Let me get another one of these fizzies.
You have some more ice over there?
Yeah, I should. You should.
I'll steal some ice from you.
Yeah, I got you. Oh yeah, we're good to go.
All in all, though, it was a fun weekend.
It was a fun weekend. Long fucking hours.
Long hours for sure, but
it is fun. There's a lot to.
That's part of the work.
Yeah.
Thank you, Earl.
To see. There's a lot to experience.
I've been meaning to make this joke, by the way.
That's fucking hilarious.
I gotta stop building up jokes before I make that.
Go ahead. Wait, is there no context?
No context.
You're just dropping right in?
It reminded me when you stood up. I've heard of Earl sweatshirt, but I've never seen Earl sweatshorts.
By the way, I would only ever wear these if that was permitted. I love cloth shorts.
I was wearing
I
was wearing sweatshorts this morning while working out.
And linen stuff too. Like all that linen you got.
I'm a linen convert.
I love that. I love that collar too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It doesn't choke me.
A linen convert.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna start wearing linen year round.
It gets cold out, man.
They make thick linen.
Do they? Like real thick?
I have
thick enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a sweater. It's linen.
Okay.
A linen sweater. It's amazing. It still breathes. It's still light, but it retains heat.
Yeah, it's funny when you get also to a certain age, you start dressing for like performance, like like utility. The shit matters.
I don't know. If that was the case, we'd all be in golf gear. Right?
What?
Like quick, fast drying pants that are stretchy and polo shirts.
No, I'm not
dressing for
like
performance.
I don't. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, no, maybe I said the wrong thing for performance.
Well, not athletic performance, even just like utility.
Yeah, like whatever.
Comfort and utility.
Exactly, comfort. Like right now, this shirt you have on is breathable.
Yeah,
but it's also nice and gentlemanly. You know, I don't know. How do the pants feel on you? Is it stretch enough? They feel good?
Light. Breathable. No swamp ass here, Earl.
Same thing with the shoes. You got some knitted.
Did I tell you about
some knitted shoes here?
On the subject of swamp ass, I tell you about the...
Oh, wow. It's a wild segue.
We went to Richmond for a concert. And it was on a park they have down there called Browns Island. And it's just an island. That's what it sounds like. There's a canal on one side and then a river, whatever the hell it is, over there on the other side. And just this long strip of grass and the stage set up at one side and then just, a couple thousand people in front of it. And it was like 95 degrees out, hot as hell. Everyone's just sweating. And, every other chick was wearing denim shorts. Those little like cute short Daisy Dukes.
Yeah.
And, we're sitting down on the ground on mats. Everyone's got like their picnic blanket, whatever it is. And once everyone started standing up when the concert started, everyone looks like they just got off the lazy river. Like they just have a ring of sweat, just like a perfect ass imprint of sweat. And two of the chicks in front of us were sitting on a tie-dye blanket. Yeah. And the one's wearing white shorts. The other one's wearing like, really light washed denim like you have. And their ass sweat tie-dyed their shorts.
Oh. She just had some tie-dyed ass sweat just jumping out at people like, hey, this is where ass sweat was. This is why we're here. Wow.
And I was wearing linen and I was comfy cozy. So I was like, this is another point in the category for linen.
Yeah, I think though was it a festival?
No, it was just a concert.
Oh, okay. Because I think that if you go out, probably to certain concerts and definitely probably all festivals, there is a shared and completely understood and expected dirtiness that people are going to be in. It's like, hey, listen.
We're all in it together.
Yep. Like we're all going to be dirty as fuck for 3 days. Here, walking around, drinking, fucking tripping out on whatever the fuck.
Are you a festival goer?
No, never been.
Yeah,
never.
I've never been either.
Yeah,
I went to like
that and raves. I've never been to. You've ever been to a rave?
I've been to a couple raves.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Virginia raves. It's usually like in the middle. It was fun at that age. I'm sure if I went now, I'd be like, this is not my crowd. Get out of here. Yeah. But I mean, like in this area. They would just have a field, set up a stage, and then a bunch of people would show up and they'd have music for a night and then you go home. And it wasn't like a more planned thing with a cool set list, playlist, like effects. Some guy walks up to you that's higher than you are with those light gloves on and starts giving you like
Jesus Christ, yeah.
It's like, get your fingers out of my face. Yeah.
Some people live for that shit, man. It's like a drug. Just imagine, you're just on fucking Molly, and you're with all your friends. You guys are drinking, and you're fucking dancing, and you're sweating, and someone's got some Coke too, and you snort some Coke. Someone's got some Adderall. We're gonna do Adderall tomorrow just so we can pop in and do it again. And
it's like it's a form of mass hysteria.
Fuck, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you all get on that same like wavelength, that same level. Yeah. Not my crowd.
You all just come back and do it again and do it again.
Some people get stuck. Like what happened to Cindy from high school? And then you look at her Facebook and she only has those like fluffy boots on at all times and wearing a bikini in all pictures. And she's gotten really into fire twirling.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've heard people. I don't think I've really had. I've had friends definitely have their mind and seemingly the consciousness that they occupy change and alter drastically depending upon the psychedelic experiences or whatever that they've gone through. But I don't know anyone that has like lost their mind, like just went off the reservation. But I do know people that know people.
Sure.
That have.
It happens, but I think it's going to happen either way. It's probably not expressly due to drug use. if doing shrooms unlocked your schizophrenia, then you were probably gonna at some point have a battle with it either way. Would be my guess. I don't know.
Or he was just waiting for some sort of trip.
There was a kid I went to high school with, and his dad owns a pizza shop nearby, and he was friends with my friend group, and would grow his own shrooms. You know?
Oh wow!
So he was taking large amounts daily, and it just eventually snapped. My buddy that worked at the pizza shop said he would just like find him in the back, like curled up underneath like the prep table, just talking to himself.
Oh no!
And I don't know that he's ever quite been the same again.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
But
meanwhile, I just did 2 days of microdosing. Right?
How you feeling?
Oh man!
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also on shrooms right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Microdose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Definitely allowed me to step back and look at some things that I felt like I wanted to refine about myself. Much more able to detect and attack bitch ass nigga thoughts that I have sometimes. Like sometimes when I just feel like I'm anything that isn't an optimal thought or feeling, I'm like, why the fuck are you feel like? Why are you feeling this? Your life's amazing. Like there shouldn't even be. You shouldn't even have a hint of disdain for anything. Your life is so damn good. Go for it.
Okay.
Dude.
Lapel de vie though.
Okay.
Like,
do that. I don't know what that means.
That it's the call of the void. It's like if you're standing near a cliff or something like that, your brain gets a thought that like, oh, I should jump off this cliff right now. Or, when you're driving, like, oh, I could just drive off the side of the road, or I could drive into traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Or I could hit this. It's like that's a healthy thought to have because then your brain remembers that you shouldn't do it. So I think it's probably a similar thing that like your brain's thinking these negative things to remind you that no, things are good.
Yeah. Oh, so it's just the natural process.
Yeah, because otherwise, would you come to that like conclusion of no, everything's good? Like, why are you thinking this unless you were thinking that?
Yeah, very true.
Otherwise, you'd just be existing.
That's very, very cool. Yeah, that's very cool. Just the existing part is
now
cool.
when you get stuck in that mindset.
Now, sometimes the just existing and there's really no thoughts about anything happening at the moment are very, very nice moments.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even trying to bend the world or figure anything out or any of that. It's just
enjoying life.
Just here.
Yeah.
Just existing. That's also a really, really good one.
No, that's nice. Yeah. You need that. You need that from the way your brain thinks.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was necessary for me to take the route of meditational practices constantly and every day.
You meditate?
Yeah, heavy. Yeah. Every single day.
Mindful or?
Yeah, mindfulness meditations when I wake up for like, 10 minutes before I go to sleep. But it becomes something, because it's been something I've been practicing for like over a decade now, like 12 years. Mm-hmm. So it becomes something that you realize you can't just do those 2 times in the day. It has to become a way of being.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I've been really interested in grace for a long time. I think grace is such a beautiful thing because it's all the moments in between the steps that you learn. Like it's a way of like swimming with the earth's current, right? So when you see a ballerina and you're like, what the fuck? Like, how do you achieve that level of grace? Mm-hmm. Like, cause you had to learn a bunch of steps to learn like how to dance. But then you had to figure out all the itty bitty microseconds in between those steps to make it fluid, like you're moving through water. You know what I mean? Or like you are water, like you're smoke or some shit. And so I think that you have to, if you care to, which I have, you want to be mindful of all things. You want everything you want life to become a meditational practice. At least I wanted life to become. And so I make life a meditational practice. I try to do everything is a meditational practice for me. Mm. And so it becomes a way of being. And it's absolutely necessary for me, for sure. I'd fucking go crazy. I'd fucking go crazy.
I like that idea of grace too. I think that applies to the conversation of like AI music.
Mm.
Can AI ever have grace in music? Because I don't know if you how familiar you are with somebody playing like piano. You have a classical musical piece. There's notes on a paper, and you can be very technically correct and play those notes perfectly at the perfect time. Follow the key signature and everything like that. But then I think like the beauty in music and the interpretation of music is when you don't play it quite perfectly. You kind of flow through. You have a little grace with it. You're bobbing, you're swaying, you're really feeling the emotion of it.
That's what's weird about really good artists.
Yeah.
It's like, how the fuck are you doing that? Like, how did you figure that out? Because you could be completely, technically 100% correct, but you're not. And that bit is like what gives you that thing.
Perfection's not beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like, did you ever see Black Swan?
Yeah.
That's what that fucking movie was about. He's talking to the white swan, fucking Hilary Swank, right? And he's looking at Mila Kunis like, you need to become a little bit of her. Like, look at her. She's willing to make mistakes. She's funny. She's chaotic. Like, you're too perfect. You need to embody that if you're gonna do this role right. And it's just her fucking journey figuring or getting in touch with that side of herself to play that fucking or do that dance at the end.
Yeah.
But fuck yeah, man, it's something beautiful when people find that thing about them that only they can incorporate in the art. It's just it's so beautiful. It's so weird.
I don't think a lot of people do though.
No.
To be able to like find what is uniquely you, it's hard. I don't know what's uniquely me.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't have like an exploration of art that I'll ever discover it through, but
yeah, sometimes though it's the not knowing that is the magic. There's definitely something huge in that. That's one of my favorite things too. It's the fact that you don't know that makes you who you are. And to be honest, I mean, that's the epitome of Daniel. Like, in case you don't know, I can tell you exactly what the world thinks of you. I can tell you right now, because people tell me all the time. It's that you are extremely unique in that sense. Like, no one knows a person like you. You're very, very you. And a lot of it probably has to do with the fact that you don't even realize that you're you. Right. So, and it's because of that gives you that air, that essence that people find in you so attractive.
Good.
Yeah. It's because you're just.
I'm happy to hear that because I've always had a fear of like just being one of the masses.
Oh, yeah.
I remember like one time I was in second grade or something like that, and the teacher like asked us like, "Oh, do you all want to like go do this?" And everyone raised their hands, and I like waited, and she was like, "Do you want to do this?" And then I raised my hand, and she said something about like, "Oh, well, aren't you a leader?" And like I thought to myself at the time, I was like, "I'm not a leader. I just don't want to like do everything else that everyone else wants to do."
That's interesting to have that thought at a young age, right?
Yeah.
Because like why do some kids think like that?
It's not like I want to be like counterculture or be unique or anything like that. It's just I don't know. I think there's a weird contentedness that people find and just like, checking off the boxes and doing the things they're supposed to do. And
you at the very least have to check it the fuck out. Like if a bunch of people are swarming towards one place, you got to at least be like, what's going on over there? Like, I don't know if I'm going over there just yet. Like, I don't know about that. Because I know a lot of people to make a lot of terrible mistakes and perpetuate a lot of terrible ideas together.
Well, that's the negative side of that coin.
So I'm like, I definitely don't need to run after you guys and do what the fuck you're doing. I'll have some conversations, see like maybe if there's some things you're doing that maybe I want to take from. But no, the swarming, you definitely want to like sit back and wait. Like you don't want to be the first person. I don't know, maybe you do, maybe you don't, to have that Neuralink chip that Elon Musk is going to start putting on our heads. You don't want to be the first 100 people to do that. Like, wait a little bit. You don't want to be the first.
I'll wait until they offer it as an upgrade on my T-Mobile plan, and then I'll do it.
Yeah. See,
when it's at that level, sure.
Yeah, it'll take a while to trickle down to us little people. Yeah. At first, it's just going to be for
if I have to sign a waiver first.
Yeah. A waiver's definitely coming with that.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. The level of security that's going to have to go into that, bro. If someone hacks into that chip, get the fuck out of here, dude. Yeah. Like hackers are going to get just as good as the people making the tech. Like hackers aren't getting worse. Like, so I just don't think I want something that's easily. And now I know that people are hacked regardless. People are hacked by stuff that they're watching on Twitter and stuff like that. Like people are hacked in that sort of sense. But having an actual chip in your head that someone could get access to in minute, like, nah, I'm cool. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I wonder like what the future is there. I don't think we can program the brain. I think the brain still has a process on learning things, and I think like maybe the Neuralink chip just lets you learn at a faster rate. My fear would be kind of what we see now with the news and like things portrayed as fact that you learn and becomes a part of like your brain and your thinking that might otherwise not actually be, you know, the truth, the actuality of everything. So, and that can happen at a faster rate. You know, we're already seeing like an echo chamber of politics and everything like that. And like that only gets worse.
Yeah, I'm with you with just like living a simpler life. It's much happier. It's much happier, and it's much more real. Like this is really what's going on. The shit around you, the people around you.
I don't want a simple life.
Yeah. Oh no, you want a complex.
Yeah,
life.
I want a very complex. You know, I want to like explore everything that interests me.
Well, okay, so. See, I use words and I don't understand that there's always I know there's always like a duality in everything that I'm saying. So I think that for me to live the life that I live now is very complex in its tapestry, in the way in which it was woven. But it's simple now. But it took so much complexity and so much thought to weave it together in order for it to be taut enough for me to just lay it down.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of the thing in there. So there's tons of complexity to my life, but it's lived now. It's manifested in a much more simple way, and that feels good for me.
You can only get there through trial and error,
right?
You know,
right. Oh, I've fucked up a ton, dude. Man, oh, I forget. You don't
that's
know
how I'm gonna
me.
make my way to success is just through fucking up and figuring out what I'm not supposed to do.
Dude, I've done so much.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Anything you share?
Yeah. Did I tell you the story about how I stole that car down at 21 years old, and I'm moving down to Florida, and I'm like, this is going to be the best fucking time of my life. Stole that car allegedly. And I'm headed down to Florida. I'm about to move in with my brother, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm about to go down to Florida. It's going to be hot weather, hot women. I got a job lined up. I'm just like transferring Panera breads.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I got a car. I just spent $1,600 working it up to like go down there. Like, it's just going to be fantastic. And I'm driving down Tampa Bay, Clearwater to be exact.
Okay.
And I'm driving down, and my dad's in the passenger seat with me. He's taking the drive down, and he's going to take a flight back up when we get there.
Cool.
So we're driving, and as soon as we get to Florida state lines, and we fucking cross, welcome to Florida, and you start seeing palm trees, and the sun's out, and it's fucking beautiful, and you're like, fuck yes, I'm fucking young in Florida with a job and a car and a place to live, and I'm staying in a place that's $700 for rent between two people, 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom. This is and then a storm hits. And there's an accident, like, you know, I don't know, 500 yards ahead of me, and there's bumper to bumper. And I hit the person in front of me, and my car scrunches up like an accordion, and the engine pops out of the top, and the fucking because I couldn't stop my car. It like slid. I think I slammed. I fucking slammed. I choked, slammed on the brakes, slid, hit it. Engine, smoke, everything. Car's totaled. Just spent $1,600 the week prior to like fix it up to get it ready. Car totaled. And then my brother had to drive up like 5 hours from where he was in Florida, pick us up, and then take us down to his spot. I think the next day we go to a spot called the V, and there were a lot of cougars at this place. And long story short, I ended up going home. We called a taxi with this older, I was 21 at the time, so she was probably like in her 40s woman. Fantastic. She was South African. She was absolutely beautiful. She had some zebra skin or zebra print dress on, super tight.
She had zebra skin.
Like, she was. She had zebra skin. It was fantastic. It was so beautiful. And we got in the car and went back and realized that one, she was definitely married, just from the photos and stuff around the house. I forget, that kind of went over my head a little bit, but I think she did mention there being a guy that was off somewhere, like working, making money for them, right? But I'm young and 21, and I'm a piece of shit, so I don't fucking care.
Oh man, a good older lady.
Yeah, and I love the older lady.
Love an older lady. Oh my absolutely.
Gosh. Yeah, to this day. This moment.
Although it's, as I get older, that age differential that I'm comfortable with is getting smaller.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's also okay.
It's, up to like 45.
So either way, we have sex and I'm leaving. I want to leave. My brother's at the house. He had left earlier from the club.
He came back to her house with you?
Well, no. He had left earlier. So I went back on a taxi with her to her place.
Okay.
He had left the club with some other chick that he met. Okay. So I didn't want to bother him. I knew what he was doing, right? So I didn't want to call him away from what he had going on.
Is dad still around?
Dad is not around.
Dad flew back up.
Dad is gone. Oh, dad is gone. Oh, no. Yes, dad is flown back up. Okay. I think like
it's like did all three of you just find your way to different houses?
It's like, where was your dad in all of this? Yeah, no. Okay, so I think we had dropped him off already. So this is after we drop him off.
Sorry, I'm just...
No, it's fine. It's even funnier that it is as soon as we dropped my dad off to go that this story happened. Mm-hmm. So thank you for asking that question. And so I told her like, I'm gonna get out of here now. And she's like, all right, I could take you home in the morning. And I'm like, I'm not fucking going to sleep in this place. Right. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna get a cab. I had no money on me. So there was no way I was gonna get a cab. This is also before Uber. So I waited for her to go to sleep and then I walked out and I picked up these keys. From the little fucking key hanger thing next to the fridge, and I walked out and I got in the car. I opened up the car. It was a beautiful black Jeep, beautiful, decked out, just clean. Oh my gosh, it looked like no one had drove it. Yeah, it looked like no one had driven this thing.
Okay.
And I started it and I fucking reversed and I just started driving down the street and I'm drunk too because I've been fucking partying. She's been buying me all these Captain Cokes. That was my fucking drink at the time. I don't know. And so I'm probably like 7 of those in.
Sure.
And I'm drunk using GPS, driving a stolen car down the parkway. And I get all the way back to my brother's house, which is probably like a 40-minute drive. And then I park the car like a few blocks away. And I get back in the house. As I'm getting in the house, the woman that he left the club with is walking out of the house. And he looks out in the street. And then he looks at me as I'm walking to my room. And he's like, hey, like, I didn't see a cab out there. Like, how'd you get here? I was like, we'll talk about it in the morning. And I just like went and laid on the little fucking blow up mattress I had at the time that was fucking killed my back. And he came in the room. He's like, no, how did you get home? Mm-hmm. And then it really dawned.
Older brother?
Yeah. Okay. And then it really dawned on me, 3 years my elder, when I had to say the words aloud. And I was like, I mean, you remember that chick like that? Like, I mean, I guess I stole her car or whatever. And he was just like, "What? What are you talking about? Like, what do you mean you stole it?" I was just like, "Well, I mean, I parked it like a few blocks down the road. Like the keys are in it, like you know." And he was just like, "Get the fuck up. We're returning the car now." And he took me to where I'd left the car. I got in the car. We drove 45 minutes back across town. I parked the shit in a parking spot, and then I left the keys there and I left. And that was it.
Did you go back in the house to leave the keys?
No, I left it like on the dashboard. Okay. I was like, fuck that shit. Yeah, I just left it on the dashboard and got the fuck out of there. And that was like my first real night in living in Florida. It was just to tell, you know. But
that story could end much differently.
Oh my gosh, the risk. Yeah. The risk taken.
Pulled over drunk in a stolen car.
And that wasn't even my steez back then. Like, that's not even how I got down. Like, it just changed me because I got to Florida. And I was just like, fucking wild.
I think at that age too, like men have like a weird inherent need to fuck up. You know, like there's just like you're full of this testosterone and like you're crazier than you probably actually are.
Yeah, like what else are you gonna do but fuck up, really?
Yeah. Like I made awful decisions at that age all the time.
That's all like, yes.
And then looking back, like it hurts me. Like I feel like this internal cringe. Like not only like do I feel bad that I, you know, whatever I had done, but like that I would even, you know, be the type of person that would do that, you know?
Yeah, we have to kind of give each other slack because I think that people are just what they can be.
Yeah.
It's just what they can be. Like some people grow up in
that's another cool thing about life though, is like you are much different than that person. And it's like you've evolved to a better person and like you will continue to evolve to a better, I hope, for you, for us, you know?
Yeah, for everyone's sake. Shit. It matters because you don't want to fucking dictate how other people live their life, but you do understand that there would be a massive collective benefit if people treated themselves better, you know, that in various ways, like that would be very cool. But again, you know, what the fuck are you gonna do? People don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. You know, whatever that means to you, like whether it's exercise or it's just trying to not eat completely shitty or not just consume completely shitty content online or whatever the case is. Just trying to be mindful of those things. But you can't, you know.
You can make a decision there.
Yeah, but you know.
That's a decision you make for yourself.
But if people don't want to do that, I'm still fine like talking to them. I still find them interesting because I was still that person at some point in time that like I didn't think about that shit my whole life. Mm-hmm. You know, so they're just on whatever leg of that path that they're on, not giving a fuck. And sometimes that's somebody's whole life.
Yeah.
A lot of time. You know,
I mean, I think everyone's interesting, right? In their own way. Like there's something you can get out of everyone. Like the soft white underbelly. Have you seen that YouTube channel?
For sure.
It's amazing.
It is.
You're seeing like, you know, some of the lowest of the low, whether it's their choice or not. And there's a lot you can learn from that. And like a lot that is interesting and is sad and is, you know, exciting about
there's layers,
some of these stories. Yeah.
Layers to it. Yeah, no, people are super interesting. And I have this conversation also in here often because I talk to a lot of single people and a lot of single people often say, everyone's so fucking boring out there. I'm dating and this guy's boring and this girl's boring and like they're dry. Dry is like the number one term people use. They're so dry. It's so dry out there. People are so boring.
I disagree.
And I'm like, you disagree?
I think if you're finding people boring, it's probably something to do with you.
Hey man, I've kind of been pushing that.
Yeah. Like there is boring people. But you probably still haven't gotten to know them well enough, and whether that's your fault or not, I don't know. Some people are very guarded, you know, and what makes them interesting, you know, you might never, you know, dive into. But if you're finding everyone boring, yeah, I don't know. That's like, you know, when somebody brings up like, oh, everyone talks shit at work about me. Like, what's wrong with them?
That's a fact. That's a fact. Because you know, I can say this about you, and I love being able to say like beautiful things to people that I really, really mean, and it's like really, really the truth. You're the type of person, and it's good people, where if someone came around a group and I was in that group, there's a group of 5 people were talking, and a 6th person came over and was just like, God, you guys know Daniel? Like, oh my God, I fucking hate that guy. Like, he's terrible. If everyone in that group knew who you were, we'd all look at that person and they would immediately be ostracized because we'd be like, what happened? Like, what do you mean? Like, what took place? You got to paint me the picture. Like, what did he do? You know, people are going to inquire because we wouldn't believe that. As opposed to you hearing some shit like, yo, this person's such a bitch. And you're like, yep. Yeah, I know, man. Fuck,
say no more.
Yeah, exactly.
I appreciate that.
You don't want to fucking be that person, man.
See, I'm a habitual button pressure though. Like if somebody comes up to me and says something, I'm definitely going to try to explore that more just out of curiosity more than anything. Like, Earl's the worst. Yeah, you know, you're not wrong. Tell me about it. What do you do now?
You're not wrong. Yeah, it's very true. Like, yeah, like let's explore this. Like, what have you been seeing about him? Yeah. No, that's for sure.
Just I'm a scientist, so I want to explore the subject.
I totally get that. I've done that before too, for sure. Like, I do want to know what you're talking about. Like, because
I don't like propagating gossip. So if somebody's coming to me and like, you know, wants to like speculate on somebody on something, I don't like that.
Like they're just coming and asking you.
Oh, I heard this, or you know, what do you think they're doing? Like, I don't feed into that sort of thing. I don't like that.
What do you think they're doing? What do you think the Illuminati's doing? Like, dude, man, listen, I'm gonna make these drinks and I'm gonna serve these people. Like, I don't know about all of that.
Exactly. Yeah. Those are the days that I'm happy that like, all right, I can just dig into what I do. And like, I don't have to focus on workplace interactions because I have plenty of other people interactions to deal with.
Yeah.
You know? You ever get tired of people?
A little bit in the work setting. Okay. Yeah, but not so much outside, because outside I don't. This is why I love this so much, because hopefully I can facilitate a space where people can just like, we can feel cool just talking to each other like, as humans, just interacting. I love people. I find people to be fascinating. All of them. I talk to so many different people. They're all so fucking fascinating in their own way. I truly, truly believe this and feel this shit in my soul and my bones. And it's so much fun experiencing people if you facilitate a space where they feel comfortable expressing inside of. And so that's where you say if people are shut off, like maybe you're not getting the interesting. I just happen to be decent at getting people to feel comfortable enough to express themselves.
So that's a superpower.
It's a beautiful thing. Like it's such a blessing because then I get to like see all these layers to people and it's fucking awesome. It's such a weird education. It's like something that like can only happen through just speaking to people over and over and over. Like all these different people, all their different ideas, all their facial recognition, all these different beliefs, all the different nuances to who they are, all the fucking similarities that make them all the same. Like it's fucking, it's beautiful.
No, there's something there to the sort of person that makes you feel comfortable to open up. I've wondered about that because I feel like when I was younger, I was more of that person. You know, people would almost overshare at times with me, and it's like, don't burden me with like whatever this was, you know. But now as I've gotten older, I think it's maybe because I'm a little more guarded with people I don't know well, or you know, whatever it is, which doesn't upset me, you know, because I don't want to like once again be overburdened. But there's something, and maybe it's like small facial cues or whatever it is that makes you feel like more of a friendly person, trustworthy. It's interesting,
yeah. I mean, I genuinely feel like when I say I don't give a shit about who people are as long as they don't hurt other people, like I couldn't say it better. Like I really don't care like what you're into. I mean, I care in the sense that it's probably going to fascinate me and I'm going to want to know about it. But like, I don't care that people live differently than me. I'm just not very judgmental in that sense. So like I can see people better than other people can.
I like that as long as it's not hurting other people. That's kind of like how I like to live my life, is the more of like Epicureanism, if you've ever heard of it, versus hedonism.
Okay, well, I do know what hedonism is, so if that's the
Epicureanism, I don't know, like one of the, I think if I understand it correctly, and once again, I'm not an expert on the subject, but it's very related to hedonism, but not at the expense of others or at the expense of yourself. Like, you know, maybe, you know, with hedonism, it feels good to do crack. So you smoke crack.
Facts.
Because that's what you're into. And like, you know, it feels good and you're hedonist and it's like the express purpose is just to feel good. Whereas like Epicureanism, it's like, well, do stuff that makes you feel good as long as it's not the expense of you or others.
Yeah. That's the thing. Because I do like to say that the yourself too. Because sometimes I'll just say as long as you're not hurting others. But I do mean hurt yourself as well. But then that's also a weird one too, because you also have the right to kind of do that.
Sure, but is it better for the world if you hurt yourself?
Definitely. How do you feel about artists that shift cultures, that move people in the way that they tap into that artistry? Because I'd like to think that just a healthier artist would just come up with better ideas. But I don't know, because sometimes there have been people that are fucking shit-faced and whatever that come up with the most beautiful works ever. And so I'm not saying that that's just the over-under is definitely in support of blow your mind on a bunch of drugs, because that's how you're really going to get to the beauty in art. But
I think that's overplayed.
Yeah, you think it's overplayed?
I think that's like drug use and like changing your state of consciousness is like idolized, and I don't think it's healthy. I think like I was influenced by that. It's like, you know, as a kid, like seeing like all these artists that I appreciated, like, you know, Eminem, for instance, on whatever he was on or whatever. And like he made this amazing music, and there might be something to that.
Right. Because he was never the same.
He was never the same after he got clean. Yeah.
Never
the same. Never will be. But was it the drugs, or was it the sort of person the drugs made him? I mean, you know, and I think like
And the ultimate hunger that he had, because he was dealing with everything. If you listen to old Slim Shady, like, you knew what his life was. Yeah. It wasn't fucking cool.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So he was hungry.
Was his motivations that? It's the same thing with, like, I'd like to watch UFC. And seeing, like, Conor McGregor on his come up was one of the greatest ever. Mm-hmm. You know, watching him, poor Irish guy, just spending all his money on training, didn't have a job, was, like, supported by his girlfriend, made his way to the top, got, like, 2 belts, and then just crashed downhill. Mm. After he has millions and millions of dollars, it's like you lose that hunger. Yeah. What's it worth? And I don't know, it's going back to what we were talking about before, like, I think we as humans need motivation to succeed. So it's like we can't all be on a level playing field. Otherwise, you don't have greatness.
Yeah.
But
like, what's the point?
If you don't have greatness, you also don't have, like, the flip side of the coin. So is it better to just be averaged out, or is it better to have great and lesser?
You gotta let people go. I'm a freedom type of guy.
Yeah,
I like the democracy idea a lot. I like that. Let people be free. Let them express. Let people gravitate towards what they like. Mm. And unfortunately, if people like to watch a lot of degenerate shit online, then that's the way the cookie crumbles in a free society.
There's a reason it's there, and there's a reason it's propagated. It's apparently what we're into.
It's apparently what the fuck we're into. It's just like if you opened up Pornhub, like that recent bar, like it's gonna be what the hell you were typing in or whatever you were clicking on before. Like that's just what it's gonna be. What?
Let's talk about this.
Okay.
Porn online. Why is everything step siblings?
I don't know.
Why is it all some sort of incest?
I don't know where that sweep came from.
Is there that amount of the population that's into this?
Oh, it must be.
It has to be, right?
It must be. I don't know.
Because for me, for porn, I skip past the end. I don't need a backstory. That's not why I'm here.
Yeah. No. You don't need the story.
Yeah, that's
not what we do.
But there has to be a large enough population that's like into that. But every single video is that.
There. What's funny? My friend knows a guy, and they were talking about porn. And this guy, by the way, has got to be easily one of the horniest men I've ever met, because the way he is fucking is insane. He's fucking, no, I do know a hornier person. I actually do know a hornier person. And that's,
I'm going to save that thought because I want to get back to that guy. I want to know what beats out.
But like, this other guy said that he would watch porn, like he'll watch the porn and like not jack off. Like he'll just watch the video, like as a movie, like he'll just watch it and he'll be like, all right, cool. Yeah. And like,
gets really into the storyline. Going to IMDb for porns.
And I'm just like,
what did this have on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, exactly. Like, who's starring in this one again? Like, oh, yeah. I like this. Oh, I like this writer a lot. He always hits the punchlines just right.
Sure. Oh my God, the lighting.
It's crazy.
The lighting on that cock.
I'll tell you though. Hold on a second. Lighting matters.
Sure,
it does matter. Now I know that this is what happens with the internet. Is there's this boom, and you get every genre that you could imagine because you have every human in the world throwing their fucking name in the pot.
Sure.
So there's so much shit out there. There's so much. The step thing, that's probably benign in comparison to all of the wild shit that's out there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like if you start going into like the more niche fetish categories, like things get weird quick. I would assume.
You and I were coming up with one, I believe, like at work. We were talking about feet. And we were talking about like what could really sell, and I believe that if no one's doing it, here's a freebie, a fucking ASMR of just like very pretty feet. They have to be pretty,
sure,
and polish and all this is clean. Playing with like goo or Play-Doh.
So the Play-Doh's nostalgic.
Ice cream, maybe something like that.
Maybe do a little finger painting, a little toe painting.
That's right. You said the toe painting, right?
Pretty, right?
I think the things that are popping off these days, that's easy. It's easy.
Feet don't do it for me.
I've known people to sell feet photos for a lot of money. I met some. The engineer of this podcast introduced me to some at his house. It was interesting. It was like a guy and a girl, like they were dating, and she was like, "Yeah, I'll just sell my feet."
She have nice feet.
I don't know. I don't think I got a chance to look at them.
You didn't get to scope those feet.
I didn't get to scope the feet, but she was definitely selling them.
If somebody tells me that they're selling their feet for a lot, I'm like, go, break them out.
Yeah, for sure. Like, let me see what's going on.
Let me see what you're working with.
But
here.
there's also just funny shapes of feet. Like, people just kind of like that off thing that we were talking about. Like, I don't want a perfect foot. There's beauty in
imperfection.
Yeah, it's like, oh, like, give me that bunion. Like,
Is that an ingrown? Is there a little lint between the second and third toe?
But that's why amateur porn blew, right? Because it's like, damn, we've been seeing this beautiful lighting, these beautiful productions with these beautiful porn stars for so long. Then it was like, oh shit, that's like the chick down the street.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's kind of...
There's nothing realistic about like, just woke up and she has perfect hair and makeup on. It's like, that's not hot.
It's so funny
if we just woke up and we're about to have sex, like, you look like you just woke up, and that's why that's a beautiful moment.
It's so funny that production was like a thing, and we bought into it for as long as porn first started. Its first probably 10 or 15 years of porn, and then like whenever amateur porn became like a real thing, it must have been late in the game. I feel like we're late in the game with amateur porn.
Sure.
But that was such a crazy boom. Because then people started looking at the beautiful porn stars like it's cool. Like, but for some reason, I just like this grittier camera, this terrible lighting, and this kind of cute chick.
Yeah, that's the flip side to it. It's like, when you give anyone a camera, there's some stuff out there.
Oh man, it's so funny how that works, man.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'm gonna urinate.
Oh yeah. Let's go ahead.
Right.
Yeah, let's take a little break. Yeah.
I want to hear about the horniest guy that you know.
Okay, what's funny is that's even between two people. I'm thinking of, but
okay.
I guess like in my horniest days,
sure.
I had been known to maybe pull like there was maybe. Well, first and foremost, let's put this out there. There was once a point in time in which I was dating 3 women simultaneously. Right.
That's a lot.
It is. It really is.
Balancing that, I feel like it's.
I clearly didn't have much going on in my life.
Yeah, because as soon as I'm getting laid, I just stop trying.
Yeah.
Not with like that person, but in general, it's like I kind of stopped dating as long as like my needs are being met.
Oh, I see what you're saying. See, that's what I'm saying. That's how deep the needs were.
Yeah,
it was like one of you is not enough. Yeah, exactly. Like I would like 3. Right?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So are you the horniest student? This is the story that's going.
Well, I'm just saying that there was a point where I could have had sex like 3 times in a day with 3 different people. Very promiscuous times. But I know someone that could easily, through the course of a weekend, have sex with like fucking 10 different women, just back to back,
How much work is that to line up to 10 different ladies?
Well, this person has some money and some notoriety, and they can just kind of like fly people to them and stuff like that. Yeah.
So it's just like answer a DM, they're coming to you.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. So, so just walking through the house, just fucking.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you share that person off air?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, for sure.
Somebody I would know?
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly.
Was it Latrell?
It's so funny because his name was Lakeith. He just threw a trail.
I was not confident in it. At least you got the joke.
Latrell. That's even better. Yeah, man. So I don't know about you. I don't need to fuck that many times in a day, bro. I'm not that person anymore. Like,
not at all.
Yeah, when you're a young buck, it's different.
Once again, it says that young man, like, hormones make you an entirely different person than what I think you actually are. You know, like, you get this urge to, like, fuck things up and, like, cause some chaos, cause some ruckus. Like, you want to get in a fight. You want to fuck. You want to do it all. And testosterone's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
And then once that starts leveling out and, like, you kind of becoming yourself, I think, like, you realize,
I probably should have found intense workout, because I was playing basketball, but I was not working out intensely. I should have found intense workout earlier on in my life.
You think that would have helped you mentally?
Fuck yeah. Like, it's the same thing with Gump. When I take this little dog out, he's doing whatever he's doing, and whenever he's running around, whenever he's a little amped up and he's letting me know, like, it's time to go, because in here, I'm like, all right, cool. We go out, and as soon as we hit the door, we just start running.
Yeah.
And by the time we get back in that fucking house, that dog is chill.
Yeah.
The fuck out. None of that shit before it's happening. He's going to stretch out and just sit wherever he's at.
You have this reserve meter that you just have to burn through.
You just got to burn through that shit. And I'm reminded of that every single time I go to the gym and, like, go to the sauna afterwards and get out. I'm just like, oh my God.
I feel so much better.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
I think, especially men, it's important. You know, like, I've heard about it talked about before, but, like, I do think there's, like, an aggressive energy to guys a lot of times, and it's like it's an inherent biological sort of thing that, like, we're competing, and you know, maybe not all guys have it, but, like, I definitely feel it at times, and I think it's important to, like, either compete in a sport or something to get that sort of aggressive energy out. Like, I think I want to, after I'm done trying to climb mountains, get into, like, MMA.
Okay.
I want, before I'm 35, I want to have one amateur MMA fight.
Okay.
Just get my ass kicked. That's fine. Just do it once. I don't want CTE.
What would you want to start with? Like, what discipline?
Probably jiu-jitsu.
I hear that's the one.
Yeah. I think that's, like, the most applicable to life. So it's probably a good one to actually be good at.
Yeah.
And then, you know, from there, like, just, I'm working on my cardio anyway. Learn how to box a little bit. How to try to block a head kick.
that'll be really good. That'll
just
be
another hobby. You know, once again, it's like something I'm interested in. Let me explore it.
But it'll also just tack on as another one of those great things. Like, having a woman feel secure around you is very important if you'd like to be with someone.
Adds a little more value to you as a man.
Boom. It's just like, I know that he knows something, and that's great to know. Like, it's just great. It just adds another layer of security here. You know, he's not going to run off on me. Like, could you imagine, dude? Like, I was telling Valerie this because she was talking about that fucking guy staring at her at the bar. And I was just like, yeah, you had two guys. Like, would you, like, nothing was going to happen to you. Like, would you think he was going to get up and then Daniel and Jacob were going to run out of the room? I was just like, bro, and I was like, imagine if they were just like, oh, fuck this, Valerie. Like, you got this.
You're on your own. You look like you can handle yourself, though, right? You're from Edinburgh.
They know how to fight out there, right? Bro, that's fucking crazy. If you're a dude and you ever leave a woman in distress, like, you see it happening and you turn the other way and run away, you have to kill yourself. Yeah. You have to. How do you know what I mean? Like, how, wait a minute.
A woman you care about. I'm sorry.
No. The guy that played the Punisher. Oh man, what is his name? He played the Punisher. He's a huge actor.
I'm not good at this.
Oh, you're not that guy.
I can picture his face though.
Fuck, I forgot his name. He has a podcast and it's called, like, Real Ones. I'm forgetting his name, but he also played Rick Grimes's best friend in The Walking Dead, the first season.
Shane.
Him.
Whatever his actual name is.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Whoever that guy is.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen his podcast, actually, and it's absurd.
Yeah. He's had a very, very interesting life.
Yeah.
And he was in Germany for, like, acting school. And he said he saw a woman like get dragged out of a car by these two big fucking German dudes or Russian dudes. I think it was Russia.
Okay.
And they were like wailing into her. And he like fucking went over there and he was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And he tried to break it up and they just straight up pulled a gun on him and they were just like, listen, stupid American.
Not your problem.
Like this, trust me, like please, you're going to want to walk away right now. And I think they just like, you know, hit him a couple times or something like that and let him on his way. And he had to walk away as he heard this woman's head being bashed into a wall.
Jesus Christ.
And now, so let me take back what the fuck I said because he should probably just walk away. Like he should probably just, unless you're of the ilk
maybe call the cops.
Yes.
But you just reminded me of a time that I didn't do that I probably should have in Philly.
Yeah.
Like I saw something similar. Not to that extent, but it was like a domestic dispute and it was on like, you know, deep in the hood.
Oh.
I was driving through and, you know, I saw like a dude kicking his girlfriend in the car, it looked like.
Shit.
And like I drove by and like rolled down my window and said like everything cool, and she said yeah, so I just kept going.
I mean, those are also very, very, very tough moments.
Yeah. Do I call the cops and then like put this guy in jail?
That's a lot of,
you know.
You said he was kicking her?
Yeah, he was like holding onto the hood of the car, or like she was in the driver's seat and he was holding on the top and like kind of like drop kicking into her.
Oh fuck.
I saw one of those. I don't know, like, you know, doesn't, you know,
man.
I don't feel good that I didn't do more there, but like also I think especially in cities there's kind of a mindset of like, it's not my problem. Like it's not my people, it's not my problem. Like that is not my business.
I was at the gym yesterday and I saw a father and daughter working out. And I had this same kind of feeling that you're describing wash over me because her and I are just working out, Valmarie and I. And we're just like fucking doing some mountain climbers. And I'm hearing their conversation because it's only us four in this little main room gymnasium type of place. And they're off to the side of us. But she's just like, Daddy, like, I don't want to do it. Like, it hurts. And he's just like, what hurts? What hurts? She was like, everything, Dad. Like, I don't want to do it. He's just like, come on, we got to do it. Pick that up. Come on. And like, it was going and he was very, very stern. And I'm like, damn, this is just kind of one of those moments where that's his child, clearly, or, you know, and I don't have any sort of backstory or any context to this at all. It seems kind of rigid, but that's not my fucking business at all.
Yeah, I'm not the executioner. I can't decide like what's right here.
It just seemed like he was just like, nah, come on, like we're gonna do this. Like you pick that weight up, you get over here, do them push-ups, like you know what it is, you know what we're doing here. She was just like, Dad, it just hurts so bad, like I'm so tired. And he was just like, it was just very, you know, militant, but that's him raising his child.
Yeah.
It's interesting because you can't just insert yourself into other people's lives on a whim. Like when
like you said, you don't have the context, you don't have the backstory.
Yeah.
Who knows what's actually going on? I'm sorry, just because you're a woman or just because you're a child doesn't mean that you're always in the right.
I heard some very famous comedians say stuff like, we at least have to ask the question, what did she do?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
that's an important thought.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, it's very true. Because I'll tell you
then
what.
there is the disparity of power, which I was talking to Valmarie about yesterday. It was like walking through the world as like a 5'2" woman has to be terrifying, right?
Bruh.
You're just constantly looking up, like, because I feel it sometimes when I walk around like really big men, you know, like they're like 6 inches, a foot taller than me. And I'm looking up at them and I'm like, good God, like you could just have your fucking way with me right now if you want to. There's nothing I can do about it. And like that's uncomfortable. And that's like,
I'm gonna have to roll with the punches.
Just hope it's quick. And like that's very few and far between for me because like I'm not a tall guy, but like, you know, I'm tall enough and I'm being like a small woman, 100 pounds.
I did.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, when I started dating more and more women and talking to them about security and things that they don't do, like wanting to or not wanting to take the trash out at night.
Yeah,
you
like I don't worry about that.
Oh fuck! Like
I'll walk down a city street at night. I'm fine.
Now that is not to say that I don't mind my P's and Q's. Like I'm very aware of what's going on, but I'm definitely not just.
I'm not gonna have headphones.
Terrified. Yeah, right. I'm also just not going to be terrified. But yeah, think about it. For a little woman looking up, and then the way that she says that guys look at her, like some grossly just animalistic, like ownership type of, like you're seeing the deepest of true intentions, and it's not good. Like,
that's interesting.
Fuck. Yeah, man. And you just feel like a little gazelle out there in the field, tall grass.
That's terrifying.
With 7 lions around you.
That's terrifying.
Fuck yeah. Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, man. That's fucking
There's
crazy.
the flip side of the coin, though. Especially those older ladies, horned up.
Oh.
When they get together.
Oh.
They will objectify any man.
Oh, they don't give a shit.
Nah.
Because no one's saying anything to them.
Nobody's going to say it. Nobody's going to call them out on that.
Dude, I've had women say some wild shit to me.
Yeah.
Back when I was a server. They just, all sorts of wild shit. Like, and if I tried to transpose that to like a older gentleman doing that to
it's a crazy thought
to a younger woman, it's so crazy.
Yeah,
so crazy. I've had women be like, "Oh, and you smell good too. Get out of here before I do something to you, boy." Like,
yeah, I had at the resort once. A lady was like, "I hope you're wearing deodorant for when you come up to my room later tonight. I don't want to smell you."
I've had people give me their room number and say, "Come up to my room."
Yeah,
like, here's my room number. I'll be there. Like, in the phone number, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's yeah, it gets deep.
Sure.
There was some women that was working at the spa, and they saw me later on in the day. They're like, "Earl, like, we heard about you this morning." I was like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, "Oh, the Williamses, talked to us about you." And I was like, "Oh, I remember that party. Like, how did they enjoy breakfast?" They were like, "Oh, they really enjoyed it." And then they were like, "Damn, we didn't come here to get pregnant, but Earl is..." And I'm just like, yo, like, just imagine just like as a bunch of guys feeling comfortable walking up to a group of ladies at a, you know what I mean, at a desk, and just being like, "Man, listen, we had such a good time, but we almost impregnated some of them girls over there." Like,
it's crazy.
Are you kidding me? Very, very different. But maybe we have enough, so we should shut the fuck up.
Yeah. No, I mean, the power balance is definitely different. So I'm not going to like claim victim here. Whatever.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna let that one go.
And honestly, like,
I've also egged it on sometimes.
Sure, that's what I was gonna say. In my position, it's fun at times.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I'll play into it.
You want to have some fun? Fuck it.
You're entertaining me.
Fuck it. Let's have some fun.
Once again, we're not talking about the weather.
Yeah, very true.
So we can flirt. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fun. Plus, older women got shit to talk about. That's always nice.
Yeah,
like, you're just like, oh shit, like, you a whole adult. I'm talking to like, fuck, I gotta remember, like, this is a
you have life experience.
Yeah, you got life experience. You've seen shit go down. Yeah, those are fun people. It's weird though if they remind you of like your aunt. You're like, fuck.
That's the issue. It's like, all right, I'm into older ladies, but they can't have dark curly hair because my mom has dark curly hair.
Yeah, it's a little too close to home.
So that's like, off the table entirely. I'm not. Fuck you, Freud. I'm not attracted to my mom.
Yeah, Oh, is that the thing? I think. How do you feel about that with women and their fathers, though?
Once again, I think it's some women.
Mm-hmm.
I think some women have, some sort of daddy issues is the term, right?
Not even that. I think that there are a lot of women that like love their dad and have a phenomenal relationship with their dad, and they just like want the dude to be like their fucking dad. They're like, dude, my dad's awesome. Could you be something like him?
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's like, I love my dad. Can you? Yeah, like, I need to see someone that does something like him.
I'm more inclined to agree with you now.
Yeah, because their fucking bar is going to be raised. They're like, dude, I've grown up with a fucking phenomenal stand-up guy. Like, I'm not going to hang out with some fucking bozo. Like, nigga, you better, come on. Like, what?
Yeah.
He fucking chops trees. He's emotional. He's vulnerable with us. Like, he fucking takes us out. He buys us stuff. He's great. He lets us travel. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, he's fucking reasonable. He's nice. He's kind-hearted. Like, he's a fucking awesome guy. So guess who my boyfriend has to be?
Yeah.
You can't be an asshole.
I feel like the guys I've seen, and like, I'm starting to get to the age where I'm watching people get married that, I grew up with. And the ones that were getting married earlier on, their significant others reminded me more of their moms. So maybe they were just going from like a transitional phase of like mom to like significant other, whereas like the other ones that are just getting married, later on down the line, there's more of a separation there. I don't know. I don't know. This isn't as well tested as my theory on actors.
And the green and blue eyes with the what hair you said? No. I'm sorry. Forehead vein. Forehead vein. Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna think more about those people.
You're gonna notice you're watching movies like, God damn it, he's right. At least for lead actors, I don't know. Extras can be whatever.
Charlize Theron. Wait, is this just for act? This is for both genders.
Both genders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Forehead vein. Does the forehead vein give a certain, like, I guess, flair to whatever the emotion is they're trying to invoke?
It's just
it's a cheat
an
code.
Exclamation point.
It's a cheat code.
Yeah, it just whatever if it's an intense scene, that forehead vein's popping, you know it's intense. You know.
Yeah, it's kind of like the thing that separates someone that can cry on command and one that can't. Like if you don't got that.
Those psychopaths.
It's just a huge skill that you don't have in your repertoire. But if you do have it, that's probably fucking huge.
It's a wild thing to fake emotion. Do you ever fake emotion?
No.
No?
Nah.
Yeah?
Nah.
I do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's it like?
Like, there's days where, like, I'm in a shitty mood, whatever, and I'll go to work and I'll pretend to be happy. And then I find that makes me happy. You know, I think that's one thing I've realized as I get older is like I don't have to be in a bad mood. I can just decide to be in a good mood, and like I'll fake it for a couple minutes, and then I'm in a good mood.
Okay.
So maybe that's not like, you know, faking emotion. Maybe that's just trying to redirect. But
yeah, I mean, again, I cannot state the power that a 30-day microdose will provide for you. So I try to be pretty mindful that my life is exemplary. So there are things that happen that aren't like the greatest, but I definitely don't get bogged down too much by anything. I also just feel a pretty significant unimportance to my life, mixed in with a gratitude to be here and a love and a curiosity to express it and enjoy it and explore it as much as possible. But also just like I don't take myself in my life that seriously.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think you have to be more present too. I think it's easy to get like overwhelmed by the past. And like I find that in myself all the time of like trouble forgiving things that I've done and like where I'd been before, and you can't because I'm not that same person. I am who I am right now, sitting in front of you, and you know it's still a constant struggle, like, you know, all the time. Like I went to school for chemical engineering and just fucked that up entirely, and like there's times where it's like, God, it's unforgivable. Like you had like such opportunity, you know, you're not a dumb kid, but you screwed all that up, but I think at times like that I'm hearing other people rather than I'm hearing myself.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, because how do you really feel about it? I mean,
I like my life.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that happened.
Yeah.
You know, it's this idea of FOMO is fascinating to me. That people think that there's, like, this other life that they're missing out on. This other experience, this other thing. And everywhere always wants to go to the next place and travel to the next place. And, like, everywhere is somewhere, and a lot of times we feel like we do all this traveling and we're trying to find ourselves in the skies, and then we just end up at a fucking ice cream shop one time and somebody says something really cool across the counter about mint chocolate chip ice cream, and it makes you think about something, and you're like, oh wow, like it should just happen here at Ben and Jerry's.
That's the weirdest thing I find in life is like these like small interactions that otherwise are meaningless that have meaning to us. Like, it doesn't take much.
It doesn't.
You know, the right smell at the right time, you know, and the right conversation can like just change your life.
I was in the kitchen the other day and I was smoking. I had the window open and Bomber was talking to me, but more so kind of at me because for a second I stopped paying attention because I was looking out of the window. I told her this, so she already knows. I was looking out of the window and this breeze came through. And I sensed, and what was this, August 20? This was probably August fucking 17th. I felt fall. I sensed autumn
It's coming
on the way. Like it was something in the breeze, but it was warm. And then I heard the leaves rustle, and there was something in the smell, maybe something smoky coming from somewhere.
So that subconscious,
like, wow,
subconscious picks up a lot.
I was like, man, this feels like fall in this moment. And then the moment went on, and it was summer again.
Sure.
But it was a beautiful moment to be a part of.
Yeah, it's wild. It's, I mean, your body's like, that's the crazy thing to me, is the amount of information we ignore as humans in our brains. Like, we are having an interaction right now, but you're not paying attention to your periphery. You know, somewhere in your brain, maybe it's processing what's happening over here, just like on a fight or flight sort of thing. Like, just in case a jaguar jumps out at me and is coming for the throat, like, I'm going to move.
Yeah.
You know, but for the most part, like, my brain is ignoring all this area here, you know, and it's also ignoring any sounds. I mean, we have headphones on, but
we're very simple. I mean, very complex and simple. That's the thing.
I think we hyper focus on what is happening right now, and then we forget all these other small things.
And that's also what creates greatness.
Yeah.
Right? Because you get to zone in, and if you do that enough, then you just get to do something as perfectly as you possibly can. And then you kind of come back up for air, and you're looking at the thing you created like, fuck, I got in the zone.
Which is an incredible thing.
Fuck yeah.
That's an absolute thing. Like, I feel it at work.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome.
When it gets busy and I'm doing my thing, I'm cranking it out. Like, I'm in the zone. I'm not really thinking things through. I'm just moving, I'm doing. And
bartenders,
that feels great.
I think if anyone's ever been to like any club at night, like bartenders they're like wizards. Like the way that they move, and they're fucking 40 people crowding around the bar, and it's 2 of them, and they're just running around. They got little fanny packs on to get their because they got a bunch of fucking tools in there, bottle openers and rags and people's credit cards that they're taking and they're just shaking shit and talking to people and opening up beers and they're taking shots with people and they're partying and interacting, but they're like efficiently making drinks. It almost doesn't make any sense at all. You're like really good bartenders. You're like, how are you even doing this? This doesn't make any sense. Like, how are you so focused?
It's the zone.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it applies to anything that like takes a lot of focus, right?
God damn.
You do it enough, you become second nature.
Like when you watch dude, have you ever watched a chess master play like 6 people at a time?
It's incredible. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Oh my God.
Have you tried to get into chess?
Oh yeah, I like chess.
I like chess too, but like I had recently started trying to play on the chess app.
Yeah.
And just realized how far behind I am, because it's like this game's been around for like thousands of years.
Oh yeah.
And old men that have died a couple times over have written books on openers that I have no clue what the fuck they are. And I just feel like I'm entirely out of my zone.
Oh yeah, we missed that learning curve. Like,
for sure.
Like I can play.
You have to be like a 4-year-old Russian and start then, and then you become.
Dude, I fucking brought Patrick and Luke over here, and I played both of them. They didn't crush me, but they definitely both beat me. Yeah, man. They had definitely a good focus on it. Patrick was noticeably better.
Let's play a game of chess.
He's pretty good. Yeah, we can definitely play. Okay. Yeah, it'll be just against 2 novices.
Patrick being good at it. Patrick's he's a smart guy.
Yeah, for sure. He definitely has the mod for. I could just tell by the way he sat in front of the fucking board. I was like, hold on a second. Like he just looked a little too comfortable as he like got in place. I was like, oh shit.
Lowering his level, looking at the pieces,
and then he just started moving. I was like, okay. You're trying to get in my head. He was good though.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's crazy.
You know what game I really love? Old school backgammon.
I have never played.
No.
Never.
Okay. We'll play some backgammon too.
Or checkers. I've never played checkers.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Checkers to me, it's not as interesting. But backgammon is just like, you can tell that this game was played with stones. You know? Like it's old. And it's simple, but there's enough random chance to it that it's fun, but there's also enough like, you need to plan this out and strategy to it.
Yeah. See that? Yeah, that's exactly what I need. I don't want to. That's probably why I'm not a huge gambler, because I don't really care for like I don't need that exhilaration in my life. It's just like, oh, let's bet it all. Like, let's see. Let's see.
It's wild. I was in Jersey last week, and the mindset of people that are going to Jersey is so crazy. Like I won like $175 on the roulette table. Put 20 down.
Nice.
Hit something, put it on another number and got 175, hit it again, lost. And I was like, you know what, taking my wins and walking away. But like I see it in my dad and his girlfriend and everyone else around them. It's like they're chasing that high, that rush. Also, fuck Jersey. Absolutely hate Jersey. Everyone there limps. They look like they're 2 Tootsie Rolls away from like losing a leg to diabetes. If they're attractive, they have an ass tattoo. Otherwise, there's 90% of them are overweight.
Damn, is that what's going on?
It smells like shit.
Wow.
The whole city of Atlantic City smells like.
Is it okay? So specifically Atlantic City.
I think it's Jersey though for the most part.
He said, "No, let's expand." You're thinking small, think big.
There's nice parts of Jersey. I've been to them, but they're not many.
Right, like Trenton. Trenton's supposed to be nice.
You haven't been to Trenton. Trenton's a shithole too.
Why did I say that? What about Montclair? Is Montclair? That's New Jersey.
That's
right?
a nice name at the very least. I don't know.
Exactly. I'm just trying to name something that sounds nice.
It's
That's
just
so funny.
the
New Jersey. Listen, I don't know. know.
Sorry, Jersey.
Jersey, I don't know.
Any Jersey listeners?
Yeah, I had another person on here that just like it was just like, man, there's nothing good about Maryland. Like, people just on here bombing states. This is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've always viewed Jersey as like a tidal wave barrier for Philadelphia.
Gotcha.
You know, I figured that's why they put that there.
Maybe the good ones will get out.
Because why wouldn't Pennsylvania have just like annexed it and just gone straight to the shore if it was nice enough?
Philadelphia is cool. I just need my rural. I just need to be able to get out to some mountains or something.
You a country boy?
No, but I am an inland boy. I do like to be inland. I do love hikes. I do love trees. I love rustling leaves.
I know Von Marie told me about your guys' prowess with the
the trekking poles?
Trekking poles, yeah.
Oh, you fucking right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. When you stop giving a shit about what other people think about you.
I like trekking poles.
Come on, man.
They're nice, especially on the descent. You know, stabilize those knees a little bit.
I need them. I fucking need them.
Yeah.
Like the last couple
Cabs like that, I'm sure you do.
But that's the hey man, but that's the thing, right? Like you want to build muscle to fucking protect these joints because I'm taking a lot of calcium, a lot of magnesium, things like that. I stretch heavily every day. Try to keep them nice, well oiled.
Stretch.
You know what I mean? For sure.
I need to stretch.
Yeah.
I don't stretch.
No, you just get
I've
there
been
and just
cramping.
straight. You start lifting.
I've been waking up in the middle of the night just cramping.
How's your water intake?
Probably not ideal.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have, so how many ounces? What is this? 24 ounces?
I believe so.
Or something like that. How many of those a day you think you?
It's hard to tell because I use a Solaris system here,
Okay.
so it's never fully empty.
Right.
Or honestly, I need to clean it more often.
Okay.
But it's my water.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
It's my water.
I know.
So
I
maybe
throw
like 1.5 a day.
I throw a bunch of. You should get you some more water. I throw a bunch of fucking vegetables. Like I make a vegetable water every day. I usually drink like purified water with mint and orange and lemon and lime in there, and maybe some strawberries. Yeah, and like that's constantly my water.
Earl, you bougie boy.
And she'll like look into my water bottle sometimes and be like, what the, like, you need to stop putting so much shit in here and like clean this out more because you have all these fucking minerals and things just building up on the walls. Like, I'm like, it's my water.
Yeah. Well, this is just water. Yeah. I would agree with her. If you're putting other stuff in there, you probably gotta.
I know. I gotta clean it out more. Yeah. I know.
Yeah, that's good gross stuff.
But there's also, okay, I don't mean to be just a completely nasty fucking heathen, but there's something to being exposed to germs that does, allow your immune system to fucking beef up a little bit. So every time some fucking germ or disease hits you, your body is just like, what the fuck is this? We're not built like this. We're not like this. We can't defend this. You know what I mean?
No, definitely.
Yeah, just
take some of that elderberry syrup.
Oh yeah,
it's good for the immune system. Yeah.
Is that what they say? Is it antioxidants? Is that what it is?
It's like really high in vitamin C, and it has some sort of like anti-inflammatory properties. I don't
okay.
know. But they sell.
And it sounds cool. Elderberry sounds like some shit.
Sounds like something from Harry Potter.
I would be into. Exactly. I like that shit.
Growing that in your little garden there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm growing ventaculas. These are like huge Venus flytraps that shoot acid out at your enemies. I'm growing some chomping cabbages that look like cabbages, but they chomp enemies if you sick them on enemies. I'm growing a lot of cool stuff, man.
It reminded me, we were talking films. What's that old film with the large Venus flytrap? You know what I'm talking about? From like the 40s or the 50s.
Oh, I don't know if I know that. I don't know if
it's
I know.
It's a classic. It's one you have to watch. It's on the tip of my tongue, but not important. But one of those classic films. That's kind of like the movies I like to watch.
Really?
Yeah. If I'm watching a movie nowadays, I want to watch something old. Something
That's so funny. I had someone in here last night that said the same thing.
Really?
Just like, we'll go back. She was like, I never saw Casablanca, but I know that it's like an amazing movie, so I went and watched that. And
I don't think it's the best movie ever.
Yeah.
But it's good.
She's a romantic, she says, so she was just swept away.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like watching The Notebook. Like, if you're, into romances, that's going to do it for you.
Sure.
Yeah. P.S. I love you. Boom. Like, it's probably going to do it.
What genre do you gravitate towards?
Like psychological thrillers.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to see like some weird shit going on with a weird storyline that's going to have some huge weird twist at the end. And hopefully you don't see coming. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I like something that makes you think.
Oh, yeah. See, the thing for me is I read too far and everything. So like everything, like I have some fucking theory I come away with from everything or some deep feeling about something.
What I've realized, like when watching a movie and it kind of ruins it for me, is like nothing is accidental in a movie. Everything's been written. So every little weird like detail or the thing that is said is intentionally there for some sort of reason. So if you pay attention to that, it often like gives away the plot of like what's coming up next.
That's why I often love when people kind of go off script.
Yeah.
Just do some weird, wild shit that like everyone on set was like, oh, fuck.
Killed Brad Pitt within like 5 minutes. You think he's the lead of the movie and then you kill him instantly. That's awesome.
That was the allure of Game of Thrones. Is like you never, once they chopped off Ned Stark's head in season 1, you're like, this is a different type of show. Like, what is going on here? He was the main character. So then it just opens you up to what the fuck is going to happen next. Like, oh my God, is it going to be this? Please don't let it be Tyrion. Please don't let it be. You just start thinking about people you don't want it to happen to, but everyone is always so close to death. Like, you're constantly like, who the fuck is about to die now? It was great. And then they took that away. Because then it got all poetic at the end.
They ran out of characters to kill. They killed so many in the first like 2 seasons. They had no one left to kill. It's like, well, we've already developed these characters. We can't keep adding new ones at this point.
They just started making such lofty murders, like for people. Like everyone's murder started to mean something bigger, and it was all like choreographed in a huge production, like this, like the mountain. In the Hound falling into the fire together at the end. Everything was just overly poetic, when before in the series, it could be anyone could get it at any moment. And your life does not have to come up to some huge pinnacle that means something before you die. You can just be caught taking a shit and get shot with a crossbow.
By your son.
That really happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of shit that we want. Like, you can get caught slipping at any point in time. Not you're going to be on top of a fucking mountain riding a white horse, waving a flag as you get killed. But that's what the death started to be like in the last season. It was like, oh, now this is just so overly poetic.
That's like the reality of life, is people die in like the weirdest ways all the time. Like you're just walking underneath the gutter and an icicle pierces you.
God.
Yeah.
I heard some crazy number, like in Russia, there's like 80 icicles kill people, or like 80 people are killed a year crazy. Roughly by falling icicles off a tall ass building.
For sure.
Are you fucking serious?
Absolutely.
Oh my God, that sucks. Like all the ways that you can
get killed by water.
Like all the ways that you can go, man. There's just so many sucky ass ways to go.
Right. I hope I have like a hero's death.
I see that.
I want to be killed by like a shark or something like that.
A hero's death. What's funny is
don't let like a hay bale roll me over as it gets loosened on the hill.
That's terrible.
I'm picking some sumac, and all of a sudden a fucking hay bale flattens me.
That's the worst, when you die doing some shit you didn't have to be doing.
Yeah.
It was just like some extracurricular activity you decided to do, and then you ended up dying. Mm-hmm. Like my friend's dad went out on his boat to go fishing, and I think something happened, and the fucking boat like started tipping over, or like the engine was like going down, so the boat was like slowly capsizing, and he fell out of the boat, and he could have very well hit that fucking propeller, but he just happened to not. It was just in the water, and that could have been a very, very bad story. And it's just interesting when your day goes like that, when you're just thinking, oh, I'm gonna go fishing out on the boat. Yeah. It's like, it's some shit that you really don't have to go do. Right? You could just stay at the house, but you decide to go do this thing that's fun for you, and you can die. Yeah. But we don't often think about that. Like when people say, well, what's the closest you've ever been? Well, actually, I don't know who you're talking to, but what's the closest you ever been to dying? Like, what's your closest near-death experience or some shit like that? I don't think people actually know the answer to that question.
I think that's the thing. Yeah, you have no idea how close you were.
Exactly.
The true answer to that is for sure. You have no idea.
I have no fucking idea.
You were way closer than you thought. Probably. You were one late yellow light. Somebody's cruising through and it slams into you as you're turning or whatever it was. That's all it is.
I saw an accident earlier today, and I was just like, "Fuck!" Like that's so close to me.
That's all it takes.
It's so close, and it was so unnecessary because it was a red light, and they were both stopped. Both cars were going 0 miles per hour, and then the other one decided to just like look up or look down or whatever at their phone, and just assumed that the car in front of them had already started taking a right, but it hadn't. The car was still there, so I guess he just started pressing on the accelerator and just ran straight into the car. And the lady just got out. I was like, "What the fuck?
What are you doing?"
Like, like, dude, we're at a red light. How did you just hit my car? Now they got to go through the rigmarole of whatever the fuck comes after you. Somebody, we got to, if it's large enough, which I did see a scratch from like 20 feet out, so I don't know if she wants to pursue it or not, but you got to talk to fucking insurance people. You got to call the police. You got to take pictures. Y'all got to sit there and have the awkward conversation of, sir, what the fuck are you doing here? Right? You got to go through all those things. He's got to apologize or come up with whatever story he wants to come up with to tell her, to tell the police. There's a lot of shit that goes on. All that could have been avoided if you had just fucking paid attention. Now, what I will say is, I think humans are winning as far as driving goes. I'm surprised more people don't crash.
I think about it all the time.
I think it's fascinating that we mostly get to where we're going.
I'm not actively driving. I'm just like, I'm just listening to my song, I'm singing, and then it's like, I kind of snap back into it and I'm like, oh, I'm driving right now. I completely forgot I'm driving.
It's wild with the
last like 15 minutes. I have not been paying attention.
Don't remember that part of the ride.
Or I'm looking over to change the song and like I drift in the lane next to me. You drifted the wrong second.
That's the worst. You drifted and that's all it takes is 1 second.
No,
that's all it takes.
Not even.
You're right.
That's why I don't text and drive.
Oh man, that shit can be so scary.
It pisses me off when I know people. I love text and drive. Like just fucking wait.
That's the worst, man. It's like the avoidable deaths, the avoidable situations. It's like, fuck, we didn't even have to be doing this. Like this didn't have to happen. Yeah, those are the sad ones.
That's life.
In a nutshell. What do you got going on today? What's on the docket? What are you doing?
Nothing.
You already got your exercise out of the way.
Yeah, exercise. I'm going to make some...
You live like a poet, dude. Do you know that? Has anyone ever said that to you? You live like a poet. You fucking forage plants and seeds and you make shit out of it, delicious drinks, and you're a mountain man of sorts, and you want to be well storied, and you just do a bunch of wild shit. Again, keeping bees, carving spoons, you do a lot of wild things.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do the rest of that project I had shown you with the block of wood.
Yes.
I'm gonna do a turmeric stain on that.
Yes.
Hopefully that works out. I gotta do a little test patch because I don't know how it's gonna work. Also, I don't know if it's gonna make the whole project smell like curry.
Nah, that would be even funnier.
It is a food product.
Yeah, for sure. That would be funny.
So I'll do that.
It's
and I'm going to try to make some more of this.
Like curry. And we make some more of what is this one again?
This is the sumac liqueur.
The sumac liqueur. Yeah. See, this is the fact that you can make a liqueur is crazy. Like what is liqueur from anything? Exactly.
Flavor plus booze.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And sugar. A lot of sugar. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot you can do. That's one thing I like doing is, especially like I don't make a lot of cocktails outside of work. So when I do make something, I want to like introduce something to somebody that they haven't had before. Because that's like one thing that really excites me in life is, for whatever reason, new flavors. You know, I like a new experience in general, but new flavors, specifically new fruit, for whatever reason, I love that, man. I love trying a new fruit.
What's been your favorite like new fruit in life that you've tasted?
Favorite new fruit? I had like a sapodilla, I think it is, down in Jamaica. That was amazing. It tasted like honey baked bread almost. So good. I like the ones that are available around us here, though. Okay. I think that's what's really cool is like the stuff that we ignore around here that's readily available. Yeah. It's everywhere. I mean, for pawpaw, I looked for like 3 years. Everywhere. Hunting through the woods. You know, I know it's out this time of year. I'm reading about it online. I can't find it anywhere. Hilarious. There was one day I got lost in the woods. I ended up like on a road 10 miles away from home. I had to walk all the way back.
Dude, you're searching. This is fucking hilarious.
And I did that for like 3 years until finally, like, I found online somebody mentioned like, oh, it's down in like what's it, Great Falls?
Yeah,
the park over there.
Yeah, I love that place.
Went down there. As soon as I stepped on the trail, I looked up and there was a pawpaw hanging in front of me. I was like, hell yeah, it's on.
Sweet.
So then I finally figured out, you know, what does the plant look like? And you know, like your mind, I think, recognizes stuff like that, so it's easier to pick it out. Because when you're looking at just a sea of green in the woods, everything kind of looks the same. And it goes back to your brain ignoring inputs.
Right.
You know, your brain just ignoring all that because it doesn't need to differentiate it, because you've decided it doesn't need to differentiate between like that leaf shape and that leaf shape. But once you pick something out, you start seeing the differences in leaves and like the trees and the trunks and just how their appearance and their stature. And so now I can drive down the road and I can see pawpaw everywhere as I'm driving by, because like my brain knows to look for that. And so the same thing with like trying to pick mushrooms.
Yeah.
Like mushrooms, a lot of them are pretty well hidden on the forest floor. But like once you kind of get an idea of like the shade difference that it's going to be versus like a old dried up leaf, which it looks very much like at a quick glance, then they stand out and they glow. You know, you can see them everywhere. So it's
crazy.
It's your brain ignoring inputs, and I think you get better at it. There was a tribe in Africa that they did a study on, and for us, they had a computer screen. There was all these squares, and there was blue and green squares, and we could easily differentiate between them. It's like they said, select all the blue squares. So you selected all the blue squares. It took 0.2 seconds for somebody in our side of the world, and they did that for them. They couldn't, but they did another one where it was greens, and it was all green squares with like the tiniest change in shade, and we can't see the difference, but they could instantly pick out the differences in the shades, because in their culture they had like 50 different names for green, because it was important to them in the jungle to pick out all these different shades of green, because it applied to like the plants they picked or like where animals might be. So it's really interesting like what your brain focuses in on.
Yeah, it's funny. Women have that same thing where I think it came from. I think it came from long, many years of being the gatherers and the hunter gatherer nations, and just looking at berries and leaves and things like that. So I believe that it is common knowledge that women see palettes different than men, which is why they love fucking colors more than us for the most part. Like they can look at shades of like nail color and just look at a fucking 100 by 100 metric of all these different shades and go through and really see all the nuances between them. I'm like, oh my God, I would not, like, I just don't even care. I'm not doing that, but they can see these very, very deep nuances to all these different shades. Yeah. It's amazing.
Well, we forget that, but like we are just hunter gatherers, right?
Yeah, you got to know what's poisonous, what's not poisonous. Yeah, what can be used for your skin.
That was what was important to us as a species for a very, very long time. Yeah, and all these other differences are more modern.
And now we're just fucking sitting back in linen, getting fucking pedicures.
I'm still gathering.
See, you're definitely gathering. Yeah. You're sticking true to some of your roots. That's good. It's probably very healthy. Probably feels good. Yeah.
Feels very good.
Like pick some shit and make something with it. Yeah. Like I did that. I know exactly where that thing came from.
It goes back to that, like, here's my effort, here's the results of my effort.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to doing something and spending the time to do something and then being able to enjoy what you've worked on. And same thing with the garden. Like, you can grow a shitty tomato that's anyone else's a shitty tomato, but you taste that tomato, it's amazing. Yeah, you've never tasted something sweeter and juicier, you know? It's still a tomato.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
But you're like, oh, but I
Probably cost you 10 times as much as one from the store would, but
that's so funny, man.
yeah.
All right, man. All right, you ready to wrap this up?
Sure.
Are there other things to do?
Let's wrap her up.
Let's go sit outside. Let's go see what this woman's doing, and let's get this dog out of this cage. I'm not a big fan. Actually, no. Let's talk about this for a second.
Please.
Yeah, this might add another 15 minutes. I'm having such a good time. I mean, as you can see, with this dog. So for anyone that doesn't know, because no one's gonna know, because why would they know?
Sure.
I'm babysitting or dog sitting for Bella.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that it was absolutely insane that I was even on that list of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was definitely more so her that was on the list, and I just came attached. But I didn't go into it with like huge expectations, I don't think. But it's been a very cool experience. It's only been 3 days, but he got over whatever he had towards me when he first met me. Mm-hmm. And instantly, we're cool. Mm-hmm. Instantly. And we go out whenever he gets a little antsy, and we fucking run, and he gets all that energy out that I keep talking about, and it feels good. He goes and pisses and shits and does whatever he needs to do. And we go back in, we fucking just hang out. He's just chilling. And it's so fun to just be with someone that can just match your energy. Mm-hmm. Someone or something that can match your energy. And I like, it really has made me rethink the relationship between, like, when, again, you said that you've seen this dog around other dogs. So then maybe, you know, the dynamic changes. So maybe he behaves differently.
Yeah.
I think often, just like with humans, you could say, oh man, like, I hate this person. Like, I hate, Daniel, he's the worst, whatever. And you start listing reasons as to why. Whatever their perception of you was, for whatever set of reasons, was their experience and their experience only. Mm-hmm. But to say to the next person with sureness, oh, he is this type of person, as opposed to saying, this is what I experienced, this is what happened, saying, no, Daniel is a shitty person, he is a this type of, he is a that. That's a completely different thing.
Sure.
And I was told things specifically about this dog. And I think that is her relationship with the dog. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what that means, but I often hang out with people and I talk to them at length, right? And I often know that my relationship or interaction with them is not like their interaction with other people. So when I hear about their interactions with other people, sometimes I'm like, damn, that's crazy, because that energy is never there when I'm there. So I just think about, man, well, these are sentient beings, you know? Mm. So I wonder how much of that flow, that connection is also there. That ease that you speak of when you say, just very easy to talk to, like easy to be vulnerable with. Like, we as humans can pick that up about each other. I know fucking dogs have the sense. If not
more so.
Exactly, yeah. Right? So I take that as a compliment that he relaxes in my home. Mm-hmm. I take that as a compliment. I'm like, cool, you feel like you can do that around me. Cool, because you can, and I want that.
That's exactly what we're going for.
That's exactly what I'm going for. Keep doing that shit. So that's really, really cool. So I'm having a great time with that.
You know what I think what you have going on?
What's that?
I think you're getting to a certain age. You got dad energy going.
Oh yeah, that's what that is. Yeah.
I think those old gonads are
they're calling out.
They're calling. They're singing their song.
My brother just broke to us, the same guy I talked about before, 3 years my older. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be an uncle.
Yeah.
In like March.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and his wife, his new wife, are having a child. And it's like, wow, it's so funny when you are an uncle, because you didn't choose that shit, right? Like,
it's the best position, though.
Someone had a baby, and then now you have a new relationship that is going to be budding,
which is awesome,
right? And yeah, it most certainly can be, but it's funny just knowing that you're now an uncle, and knowing that there is going to be a relationship had. And not to get too far ahead, but it's like interesting. Like,
How old's your brother?
I wonder what that'll be like. So if I'm 32, he's 35.
He's 35. Yeah, because I'm feeling it very recently, and I don't know if it was like a matter of getting out of a long relationship or what it was, which I think has a big part to do with it. Was I just wasn't with the right person, because I was very opposed to marriage, had no interest in kids, but now I'm feeling like this biological imperative, like, I do want a kid, you know, like I could definitely see myself being a dad at some point. I think it goes back to the same thing of like, you know, financially, I want to be secure. Yeah. Because I don't want to fuck up a kid.
You want to do it right. Yeah.
You know, I want to at least give myself the chance to not screw up a kid.
For sure. Yeah. Stock up as many variables on your side as possible. Like, for sure. Because it's going to be difficult enough. I'm certain of it.
But definitely much more recently, I'm like, you know what? I want to have a kid.
I talk about it, well, not often, but I have before. Do you remember Naomi? Our old
over in
Harriman's, When I just liked her as a manager and as a person. We got along very well. When she became pregnant, I told Von Marie that there was this very weirdly biological thing that happened to me where when I saw her, I just wanted to protect her. It was it was a very weird thing because it didn't come from a logical space. Like I wasn't trying to think about it.
It's instinctual.
As soon as I saw her, I just wanted to make sure she was cool. Like I wanted to make sure she wasn't about to lift up some heavy shit that I know she would go do, but doesn't need to do because we're here to do it for you or whatever the fuck. Like you just kind of like, you see her and you just want to protect. It's so funny biologically that as we see that bump, we're just like protection. Like we have to protect this thing at all costs. It's a very funny feeling that comes over. Like when you fucking see a child just running around in Target alone and you're just like, you just start looking for the parents. Like, where the fuck is the parents? Like, okay, maybe I should stick around until I see parents. It's just like a village collective type of, we have to protect the young people type of feeling. It's funny how that works.
There's something behind that.
Yeah.
We forget that we are just like a fleshy sack of water that's, everything is determined by chemicals through the brain. So a pregnant lady walks by and like all of a sudden your brain kicks in some chemicals and now all of a sudden you feel an entirely different way than you might have before.
Yeah. Like protect that young lady.
Yeah. It's wild. We're at the will of all this.
That's a fact.
I think you have some dad energy going.
I could see that. Yeah. I could definitely see that.
I think that cute little corgi out there.
The amount of attention that I would pay a baby of mine would be phenomenal.
For sure.
It'd be phenomenal.
For sure.
I've
thought about that recently. Like, how isn't every parent not a helicopter parent? Like, if I had something that I brought into the world and I grew, because like I've had plants that I paid way too much attention to, and that's a plant. Like imagine like an actual human being that you've raised.
Well, for a very long time, you kind of just like have to be, right? Because they could die at any moment. Like you,
very vulnerable.
Very vulnerable. Like you you need to be there at all moments. Fuck that. Oh my God, you definitely don't want to fuck that up. Oh my God. Oh my God. That must be crazy. Oh my God.
That's the other scary
part. Coming into a fucking room and your baby's dead on the ground because you were like, because you were swiping on Tinder.
Jesus Christ. I think that breaks people, rightfully so, I would say. But that would just like, that's the other flip side of the coin is like, can I be a parent? Because I know I'm going to have that sort of mindset of like, I'm going to accidentally kill this kid somehow.
Oh no.
Something I'm going to do is going to like result in the death of this kid, or at the very least, there'll be a tripod. They're going to lose a limb.
Oh no, that wouldn't happen because you practice taking care of things. Like that's like all your practices are built around mindfully like sculpting or encouraging something. Like you,
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I killed 2 beehives this year.
Well, I mean, listen, we didn't say everything was going to be 100% success rate. Like you can't.
My basil plant's dead.
You can't shoot 100% from the free throw.
Sure. My cat's kicking though. Cat's alive.
Cat's alive. See, boom. Cat's alive. Cats are kind of self-sustainable for the most part. Yeah. So it's more.
She has what she needs.
Yeah. So I guess I can't give you that one so much.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. I think, and it's a joint effort.
You'll be fucking.
Ideally, a joint effort.
Yeah, for sure. Ideally, a joint effort.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
It's finding the right person.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
So I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
You mentioned before Singapore and having some listeners out there.
Yeah.
Have you ever made the shout out to them?
I did definitely. I said Singapore, Germany for sure is always awesome. Saudi Arabia is cool.
I want to know who they are.
Dude, fucking me too. It's like, what do you do?
Reach out, leave a comment.
Yeah. Like find me somehow, some way. Like, what are you
curious,
what are you thinking about?
How'd you find this guy?
Yeah.
I mean, Earl's a handsome fellow. I get that. How'd you find this handsome fellow?
Most of the people are probably just listening to it.
Yeah.
Probably not even doing the video version.
Really? I mean, you have a handsome voice.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. But it's fascinating that there are just things we can just chat about that resonate with people, and people like to come and be in that space and listen to a fucking 3-hour long conversation.
Yeah.
Of just dudes that they don't fucking know, just chatting.
Do people listen to the end?
People listen. Yeah, people listen through the entire fucking thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for my annoying voice.
Yeah, like they'll listen to this whole thing. There'll be people that listen to this whole thing, and then they will tell me something about it.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very, very crazy. So,
thank you for listening.
So I'll keep you abreast.
I appreciate your attention.
Thank you, everybody, for attending Earl's World today.
It's been a pleasure.
Goodbye.
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 All right. This is where the foot fetish video takes off.
All right,
that was too sultry.